Hello, good morning. You're welcome to News Morning here on TV3. I am Enyunam Haliga, coming up in a few minutes. Travelers through Ghana's airports will no longer remove their shoes and belts from security checks from August as government promises to improve passenger experience. Meanwhile, the idea of a united Africa is threatened due to increase in xenophobic attacks in South Africa as first Ghanaians expected to be flown home from Tuesday. Much later, the Ghana Health Service assures that Ghana is fully prepared to contain any Ebola and hantavirus outbreak in the country. Thank you for joining us. We're going to a first story now where Accra's flood crisis is deepening as another downpour has left homes submerged, properties destroyed, and residents fleeing for safety in parts of the capital. In Kokoko, within the Wejagbawe municipality, victims say poor drainage and unchecked development continue to turn every major downfall into a disaster. A report from my colleague Stanley Niblo.
Parts of Accra continue to experience worsening flooding situation with each downpour. Last Friday's rainfall not only inundated homes, but also wreaked havoc in affected communities, including Kokroko in the Wejagbawe municipality, breaking fence walls and destroying electronic appliances. This apartment is one of the hardest hit by floods in the Wejagbawe municipality. On Monday morning, May 25, I visited the area to assess how flood victims are coping with the aftermath. On the news team's arrival, occupants of the apartment had perforated holes beneath their building to drain accumulated floodwaters. But just before they could heave a sigh of relief on Monday, another situation unfolded. What started as droplets of rain gradually intensified, inundating the vicinity. The only storm drain in the area, which conveys large volumes of water to the sea, within minutes overflowed its banks, forcing runoff back into residents' rooms. The occupants then fled to safety for the second time in less than a week. Others who were not at home when the rain started rushed back to salvage their belongings. The floodwaters quickly spread, taking over homes.
So the time say hi pa etime eba inside baby then na esa yenya baby mponda I say yebegina container nanim sa ma de achi hi pa so to say enema ni na say
Regina and her family face a similar ordeal.
Na wimpo de asase
where kitwa
and so na started and so
Flooding within this community is not new. The first major flooding incident in the area occurred on June 3, 2015. Since then, subsequent downpours have continued to wreak havoc on surrounding communities. Kokroko, like other flood-prone areas, has a marshy topography that has been filled over the years. Gutters are also non-existent. Other areas, including Sakaman and Dakuma Junction, were also flooded on Monday, while the Odo River overflowed its banks after nearly an hour and a half of rain. The Ghana Meteorological Agency has warned of more rains this year. As the rains set in, the National Disaster Management Organization (NADMO) is urging residents in low-lying areas to evacuate to higher grounds for safety. As residents count their losses and brace for more rains, the recurring floods are once again exposing Accra's weak drainage systems, uncontrolled development, and poor spatial planning. Without urgent enforcement of building regulations, expansion of storm drains, and sustained desilting exercises, communities like Kokroko may continue to relive the same devastation with every major downpour. Stanley Niblo, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, away from the floods, Ghana has now joined formally 6 other countries on the continent to roll out an e-visa system, which will take a maximum of 48 hours to be issued. This was reviewed by President John Dramani Mahama, who used the occasion to reiterate his call that Ghana is open for business and called on other African countries to implement the AU Protocol on free movement of Africans as the continent marks its 63rd year since the formation of the Union.
Long before the formation of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963, with the aim of promoting unity, Ghana had been advocating Pan-African ideals and championing integration through trade and economic independence for the continent. To further advance this cause, Ghana on Monday, May 25, launched a portal to facilitate the easy issuance of visas for African nationals and persons from around the world who wish to visit Ghana. President Mahama, who takes over the chairmanship of the African Union in 2027, says Ghana's launch of the e-visa system is to fast-track the borderless concept of a united Africa.
The electronic visa system, or e-visa, will allow travelers from all around the world to apply for visas online. They would upload the supporting documents electronically and make their secure digital payments and receive travel authorization in their emails or on their phones. It is fitting that we launch this initiative on Africa Day, the 25th of May. On this day, we're not merely unveiling a digital visa platform, we are reaffirming Ghana's historic commitment to Pan-Africanism, African unity, and continental integration.
Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa dismissed assertions that rolling out a free visa policy for African passport holders and an e-visa system would compromise Ghana's national security.
Databases that ensure that vetting and screening is enhanced. So for those who think that the new regime of openness means that we are going to undermine our security, you heard it from the Minister of the Interior. We have put in place the needed mechanisms to ensure that even as we open up our country, we do not undermine the security and the stability of our country.
The e-visa application fee is $260 and will take 48 hours for a decision to be made. Another interesting aspect of what the president presented is the fact that from August 2026, anybody traveling out of the country, especially those going out, will not have to remove their shoes or take out their laptops and liquids from their luggage, because a new machinery is going to be installed at the airport, which the president says is going to take away or do away with that kind of inconvenience. We'll update you when that actually is rolled out later this year in August. Martin Esiedu-Date for TV3 News, Accra.
That's good news for travelers, but the idea of One Africa has long been the continent's proudest promises. But recurring xenophobic attacks in South Africa are raising fresh questions about whether the African Union is doing enough to protect the unity. Even after a formal petition by the government of Ghana, critics say the AU has remained largely silent on the matter.
For decades, African leaders have spoken about a united continent where Africans can move and live freely beyond their borders. But recurring xenophobic attacks in South Africa continue to cast doubt over that vision. The violence against African nationals in South Africa has sparked growing calls for the African Union to take a firmer stance, with the government of Ghana among countries that have formally petitioned the EU to act. Yet critics argue the continental body has still not responded strongly enough. International relations expert Professor Daniel Dramani Kiposunyezi believes the silence from the continental body risks weakening the very idea of African integration and free movement.
I think that our continental body, African Union, has been very lenient to South Africans, and I expect that the continental body should have taken drastic measures against the South African authority. The very continental unity that our forefathers fought, including Nelson Mandela, who was also a visionary looking for the unity of the continent. I don't think Mandela will be happy to see that the country that he fought for their freedom, the man which African leaders supported, including Ghana, political liberation of South Africa, that country has now turned it back, torturing, molesting, attacking the very people who fought for their liberation. Sadly, they have overlooked the very regime that suppressed them with racial segregation, and they have turned to the vulnerable one, torturing them.
For African Union Eminent Peace Ambassador Bishop Samuel Ben Owusu, his disappointment goes beyond the African Union itself.
I'm not disappointed by the African Union. You know, I'm disappointed by the Africans, because the character we have is what we have carried into the AU. Our, actions will take time to come into the value of human lives. Sometimes we are waiting for something serious to happen to somebody before we say, oh, okay, there's an emergency. This thing started not today. It started small, and now we are getting there. If we are not careful, this will become an African problem. And you see, sometimes there are superpowers that are behind these kind of things that are happening. So I will encourage the African Union. We have put petitions. We have asked the African Union to talk about it and do something about it. And I think that there's going to be a change.
As Africa marks another AU Day with renewed calls for unity and continental progress, many observers say the real test of African integration may not only lie in policies and speeches, but in how boldly the continent responds when Africans themselves come under attack in fellow African states. Because for many, the dream of one Africa cannot thrive where fear, division and silence still exist among Africans themselves. Safo Boyne, TV3 News.
Now to some health-related stories, as the threat of Ebola may not be new to Ghana, but the question remains, how prepared is the country to the threat? My colleague Sarah Apenko has been assessing the country's preparedness at ports of entry and infectious disease centers with officials.
At the heart of Ghana's response strategy are specialized infectious disease and isolation centers established to contain highly infectious diseases before they spread into communities. Facilities such as the Ghana Infectious Disease Center, along with designated treatment and isolation units in regional hospitals, are expected to play a critical role should a suspected Ebola case emerge. Checks at the center, which played a critical role during the COVID-19 outbreak, indicate it is in good condition and ready to receive and isolate patients, support laboratory testing, protect healthcare workers, and coordinate emergency response measures. Private facilities have not been left out. Another critical area in focus is the country's ports of entry. At the Accra International Airport, port health workers are seen attending to travelers with available screening tools. Although a few gaps were identified, health officials maintain that the country is ready in the event of a case.
So the thermal thermometers that we have 9 of them. They are being fixed as we talk. We have the people fixing them, but they are being substituted by the handheld ones, which do the same thing, and we have that available, and that is already being done. So we hope that within the course of the week it will even facilitate the free movement of people. We are well prepared and ready. People have institutional memory of what happened in 2014, 2016. We still have that experience from managing COVID, and people were already prepared for hantavirus, and now Ebola came to overlap it, and so we are very much well prepared. We went through the flow. If a patient should come in or passengers come in, how we get the opportunity to sieve, and this is a collaboration work. The guideline will be well polished between all the stakeholders, and then we'll come out with a unique command system.
As of May 24, the WHO reports 900 suspected Ebola cases and 200 deaths, with Ghana's risk level classified as low.
Health officials say lessons from the 2014-2016 West Africa Ebola outbreak will continue to guide preparedness efforts in the country. Sarah Apenko, TV3 News, Accra International Airport.
Away from that, the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau is making a public report of the Tema light aircraft accident today at 10 a.m. despite the Ghana Police 7 failing to present the autopsy report of the 2 victims to the Bureau. Stakeholders are expected to work on the recommendations within 90 days when the report comes out. A report from my colleague George Queenan.
After a month and a few weeks, the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, AIB Ghana, is set to make public the report of the Tema light aircraft crash which occurred in March this year. According to the Commissioner, John M.K. Mboti, the Bureau is well prepared to address the public tomorrow, which is May 26. And this is 2 days ahead of the original date, which was slated for May 29.
We have done a diligent work. We have gone into all length to find out what really happened, and so tomorrow we're going to bring that out, the factual information that we get it, the analysis that we've done with the factual information. Anything that we've done, we are going to let you know tomorrow. We'll give the report tomorrow, and also we have some recommendations that we have set them so that tomorrow we will let them, the public, know.
John M.K. Mboti touched on some hindrances in the gathering of information.
There were some few things that we needed to add, and that has really delayed. Otherwise, like the autopsy reports and other things that we're waiting for, those still we haven't got them, but we have to go ahead. We've written to the police several times, and they are not responding to us. So we cannot wait because we have a mandate, and we have to also meet ACAO standards, and so we have to go. That is why we have set tomorrow as the day to make the report public.
In March, it was quite difficult for people to contact the Bureau, and so the Bureau is making things easier. In case of any emergency, this is the contact number to call.
0800006007, and our short code is 899*14#.
For all updates on this very report, the right place to be is TV3, so keep watching TV3 in that regard. George Quinn, TV3 News, AIB Ghana, Accra.
Away from that, concerns are growing over the worsening state of lightning at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, an area widely regarded as one of Accra's busiest commercial and transport hubs. Motorists and pedestrians along this area have been plunged into darkness without functioning street lights, raising concerns among commuters and residents about their safety and visibility. My colleague Noura Mohammed has been following this story and brings us this report.
Some parts of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, particularly the Monument and Fountain Enclave, as well as the overhead, are now engulfed in darkness. And over the past few weeks, many concerns have been raised over safety and visibility for motorists and commuters around this area, in an area that was once considered vibrant and known for its nightlife.
Many residents and commuters attribute the situation to the theft of streetlight cables, while others blame authorities for poor maintenance and the lack of surveillance systems to deter such acts. Some are also calling for the installation of CCTV cameras around the enclave to help identify and arrest persons involved in vandalizing public infrastructure.
5-6 years maybe. So what one if you left here say here before the light pole, if you want to put best about 5-6 maybe, and so.
For about 5 to 6 years now, the street lights along the overhead area, as well as close to the roundabout area, have not been working. The government should fix it so that pedestrians are able to walk safely.
Light run about you now we are not so far overhead nasi boys to me attack.
It's been long since they went off. It's not safe because a lot of robberies and attacks occur in the absence of light. We are pleading with the government to fix the light and position security to monitor and arrest the scrap dealers who steal cables from the street lights.
The fountain area, which houses the Kwame Nkrumah Monument, was once admired for its colorful illumination and lively nighttime atmosphere, attracting commuters, visitors, and tourists alike. Today, much of that glow has faded, with large sections of the area now left in darkness. For many, the situation reflects the growing challenge of maintaining public infrastructure in the capital
and if urgent action is not taken, this enclave will move from a vibrant and attractive hub to an accident-prone one. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
We're taking you to the courts now, where lawyers for the former National Signals Bureau have lamented about the frequency of objections raised by state prosecutors in the ongoing trial of Kwabena Eduboahene and his wife. Lead counsel Samuel Atacha laments that several objections raised by the Deputy Attorney General are needless and serve to delay the trial. A report from my colleague Lord Edwasari.
Mildred Donko, the second prosecution witness, continued giving evidence on Monday, May 25, when the case was called. During cross-examination by defense lawyer Samuel Atachia, the former director of Advantage Solutions, now prosecution witness, admitted in court that bank statements indicated cash transfers were made to former National Signals Bureau director Kwabena Eduboahene. Reading from bank statements showing transfers on 9th July and 3rd December 2018, the witness noted that sums of 1.7 million and 402,000 cedis were sent to Eduboahene's account. Lawyers for Eduboahene sought to establish that the accounts of the former National Signals Bureau director were active long before he was accused of setting up the accounts to steal and launder money. Atachia then tendered email documents showing bank transfers of 1.65 million cedis and 400,000 cedis from Eduboahene's account into a Fidelity Bank account. However, this was rejected after Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai raised an objection arguing that it was irrelevant to the timelines of the offences the National Signals Bureau director has been charged with. The court had earlier admitted into evidence email documents showing bank transfers of 1.7 million cedis and 402,000 cedis to accounts of Kwabena Eduboahene. The prosecution witness subsequently told the court that Eduboahene's BNC Communications Bureau Limited was closed in March 2023. Reacting after proceedings on Monday, defense lawyer Samuel Atachia expressed dissatisfaction at the rates at which the prosecution raised objections during cross-examination.
Attorney General should tone down the objection, which are needless anyway, to be able to make a lot of progress. We are appealing them. Yes, if you say that this is the document in which the 49.1 million was transferred into, but the judge said, I don't want to see the document. How can you say this is a very serious, ruling? We are going to appeal because the 49.1 million was not put in a pot under somebody's bed.
Kwabena Eduboahene and his wife have been charged with multiple charges, including stealing, causing financial loss to the states, and money laundering in relation to a 49.1 million cedis cyber security defense software contract for the national security. The case has been adjourned to Tuesday, May 26. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's how we end News Morning here on TV3. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyuna Newday. Continues.
Someone is in the spirit today. This is my song. Hallelujah. This is my song. Love it. I love every bit of this song. Kwabna, wherever you are, good morning to you. I think that it was a very well-written song. The melody, the rhythm, and everything that comes alongside with it. Kwabna, this song is a timeless piece. Thank you very much. And good morning to all of you. Good morning, Bella.
Good morning, good morning. I think Kwabna is a great songwriter and also a musician as well, and an orator. So I'm not surprised. I don't think there's any bad song of his.
No. There isn't any bad song.
Every song of his is a
very
good one. So
yeah.
Good morning to you. And yes, good morning. I'm well. How are you doing?
We're still managing the floods. Yesterday was really bad. In my area, erosion has eaten all the roads that DRIP did before the elections. Because most of it, we didn't have, how do they call that material? I don't want to say coal tar. There's a technical name, the bitumen, yes. Most of it did not have that one. I say, you understand?
Very quick intervention for you.
So erosion is eating all of it away. I can imagine what the aftermath of this year's rains will be. It would not be good at all. And of course, we are recording floods almost everywhere in the country.
I noticed it too. And yesterday I had to unfortunately drive through the rain because I had some work to do and I needed to be on time. So going through the streets, I was very scared. A lot of cars had parked. Of course, you don't have to put your life at risk. And so for some of the roads, you literally couldn't even see where you were going. So you have to wait and make sure that you're actually seeing, you know, the tarred part of it so you can, you know, pass on it. And it was very difficult. And this is supposed to be a very developed space.
You know.
This is East Legon.
But it was still very difficult.
Even through East Legon, it was very difficult
So what's the mechanism? What happens to the cars when it starts to rain? Because most cars start to break down when it rains. I'm not sure what the scientific mechanism is, but I remember when Uncle Amaliba was here 2 weeks ago, I asked that what are we doing about the breakdown of cars on the roads? And I think he mentioned something about compulsory towing of cars. You know, most of the time when your car breaks down, you cannot move it. You have to call the towing companies. But if it becomes compulsory, then it means that government is responsible
so
for
you don't
towing.
have to pay
Of course, we pay taxes. You know, when you're renewing your DVLA renewal and all of that, I'm sure it will be incorporated in there somewhere.
Then they should do it for everyone generally.
No, so it will be for everyone.
What I mean is, on a normal day, when your car breaks down
you have to
you
tow
call,
it.
it is very expensive.
I know.
I don't know if there's any price regulation, but I feel like these towing, you know, companies as well also take advantage. Yes, because sometimes the prices they mention, you don't have a choice.
It's ridiculous
because your car
you need to move the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to move the car.
So I'm wondering if there is any price regulation, but that's a conversation for a different day. But I do hope that you're safe wherever you are this morning. I hope your home didn't flood. Yesterday and even the day before, there were stories of people literally running out of their homes because the flood was taking over the entire house. There are homes where the water went all the way up, almost to, you know, the lintel level. And it was very disturbing.
Very
I don't know how people manage, because you know that every year you're going to have to deal with floods one way or the other.
And they still live there.
They don't have a choice. Where do they go?
They still live there.
Where do they go if you don't have the money?
You will not be able to move to a safer space, right?
You've probably paid rent for what, 2 years? Which is also illegal, by the way. Another conversation for another day. But if those 2 years, I've only done 3 months and the rains come. And the floods. I would want to move out. But is my landlord or landlady ready to give me money?
You won't get the money back. You won't get the money back.
Do I have money? Do I get any advance anywhere to go and rent another place and wait, hoping that the other money will come? It's a lot of issues. So you get stuck in that space and it makes it very difficult. But I hope you're safe.
I do hope that everyone is safe out there. When it happens like this, I just think of the people who are also homeless, you know, people who sleep on the streets and the bridges and all of that. I just ask and I question how they are going to survive passing the night and all. Well, that's why this conversation is rife this morning. We'll deal with it extensively. We would activate the phone lines for you to get back to us. But the Environmental Protection Authority has issued a communique which is banning plastics. And Bella, we spoke about it here last week, and I mentioned that I know our local wache, indomie, rice, jollof, what's the other one? Gobe vendors will come for us. But I think it is time that we all take this very directive seriously. Look at the flooding that is going on. Look at the amount of plastics we are all experiencing, choking the gutters and not just allowing the free flow of water. Well, the EPA is saying that effective January 1, 2027, your local wache vendor will not be able to serve your wache in your takeaway pack, the styrofoam that we've all been using. She will not be able to do that for you. If you go and buy cocoa in the morning, it will not be tied in the rubber for you anymore. If you want to eat indomie, you would have to find other alternatives. So we're talking about it this morning. But let's all talk about it. What's the experience in your area? The flooding that's going on, are you also experiencing a lot of plastics choking the gutters? And why did we not even clear the gutters before the rainy season? We've experienced it year in, year out. This will happen. Houses will be inundated with floods, and we even lose lives. But it's like we just sit aloof and we just wait for the disasters to happen, and then we'll come on TV, we'll complain, we'll talk about it, and then it starts to dry again. Everybody forgets about it. Hamatan comes, Christmas comes, and it's just the Ghana as usual. For crying out loud, we're about to be 70 next year. And after 70 years of independence, we are still, I mean, there are things that we are grappling with in this country that we are not even done solving. we are talking about unemployment, and yesterday it broke my heart when you guys were discussing that 6,000 of all these young men and women who wanted to get into the security services are what? On drugs.
Yeah.
And it's actually even
affecting...
the drug test. So
4,000 of them, yes, failed the drug test.
And most of them have mental issues. The country has a lot to deal with, but I don't think that Assad now flooding should be one of it. I mean, for our environment, no, I don't think that it should be one of it. But, well, it's part of it. We'll be talking about it this morning. But for the big issue...
Yes, indeed. So for big issue as well, we'll be continuing the conversation that we started yesterday with regards to Ghanaians who are stranded in South Africa, awaiting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to evacuate them and the High Commission as well. Yesterday, we spoke to a few of them, just about 4 of them. There was a woman who was attacked by 6 men. She said she's a hairdresser. She had just finished work, and then she realized that these South Africans had started chasing everybody out of the shops. So they chased her. They caught up with her and they beat her so badly. She has a bruise around her eye. She had to get stitches, etc. So yesterday she showed it to us on camera. And so she's one of the people who's waiting at the High Commission in South Africa, hoping that she can go through the screening process and get evacuated. She's not the only one. There's a young man who also said that he didn't have a choice, so he went to Zimbabwe and then they got on a bus and entered South Africa illegally through the bush. And so he doesn't have documents, and he's also one of the people who's been attacked. He says even the language, when they hear you speak the local language,
they feel your
that's even a problem. That's even a problem for them. There's a young man who also said that he went there on a teaching gig. And has been there for a number of years. But after his visa expired and his documents expired, they're supposed to renew for him. Unfortunately, they are refusing to renew. So he is supposed to be there legally. He's helping the education system. And we are here needing more teachers.
No documentation.
But now they're refusing to renew his documents. So these are the concerns. And we're told that by Wednesday, we're hoping that some 300 of them will be evacuated back into Ghana. There's also some intervention for them. But beyond that, what should be the real expectation for these people? Because a lot of them are saying they don't know what to do. They may not have family here anymore. They don't have any means of survival. So is that government intervention enough to help them get back on their feet?
But Bella, so that's why I would want to ask the AU what they are doing about this particular situation. Yesterday was the 25th of May, AU Day. And it was quite disappointing that when the AU chair was speaking on such a very important day, he was very silent on the xenophobic attacks in South Africa. And many stakeholders are disturbed that why would there be such a thing going on, and you are addressing the 63rd anniversary of the formation of the AU, and you are blatantly silent on it. So what has happened to this very Union of African Unity? Is it still of significance in this day and age? And if it is, why are they not addressing this issue? Because it just looks like this is affecting Ghana now, so it's just important to Ghana. So we are taking... But we are in the limelight for it, you know.
Well, the Nigerians have been facing it for years now, and so they are also making plans to evacuate their citizens. The Zimbabweans, the Malawians, constantly they are facing this in South Africa as well. Well, they say that the locals are not getting jobs, and also for them, the other Africans are the ones perpetrating, crime in the country. When in actual fact, of course, we do know that they are also equally involved in the crime statistics in the country as well. And so for them, as far as they're concerned, the locals are not getting jobs. And it's because these foreigners have come to take their jobs. So from hairdressing to barbering to selling, whatever it is, they want to blame anybody else but themselves. Because if you speak to some other Africans, they'll tell you that a lot of these South African locals don't want to work.
They don't want to.
They just want to stay at home.
They don't want to.
But they still have a problem with every other African who's in their country and trying to survive. So it's a concern. And Ghana has actually petitioned the AU. They're asking for certain things to be done to ensure that these issues concerning xenophobic attacks against not just Ghanaians, but other Africans is nipped in the bud. So we'll have that conversation as well. And yesterday, Ghana officially launched the e-visa, portal. And so wherever you are in the world, if you want to come to Ghana, you don't have to go through the stress of
embassy anymore.
Because I've encountered that with someone as well, and it was very difficult trying to get visa for the person. So eventually you have to now reroute and get visa on arrival for the person. It's a very complicated matter. So it's good that now they've launched it. You just go online, you apply,
Bella,
and they're telling us that within a day or two you can get your email. I think it's a better option.
I just hope that it works. You know why?
I think it will.
So when we were doing the passport for my niece, who is just about 3 months now, for them to come to Ghana early on this year, you know, through the Ghanaian embassy in the UK. So you don't physically go there to apply and take the passport. So you apply online. The passport is issued here from Ghana, and it's supposed to take 15 working days. You don't want to know how long it took. You don't want to know how long it took. I ended up paying visa fees here for her to come, only to receive the passport the same day that I paid the visa fee. So like that 250 Ghana cedi, that 250 US dollars was just, you know, wasted for nothing.
I know someone
I just hope that the platform will work.
Listen, I know someone as well. So in some other parts, they're supposed to, you know, you send all your details if you want a visa. Right. You send your passports, and then the post agency will now take all the details. But they've been told that they have to keep it at the post office because the commission will come for it.
And the commission
never came for the passport. This passport was there, and then the post office now sent an email and said, if you don't come for your passport, we're going to have to discard it.
I'm not supposed to come for it.
Exactly. So now, through investigations, the person found out that apparently the commission was supposed to now pick the passport, and they didn't pick it. So it's a lot of stories that people have, and they spoke bitterly on this matter as well. It's not something.
So that's why I'm just hoping that whatever platform it is would work, will not have challenges here and there. Because like it's one thing launching an app, okay, or talking about an intervention or launching an intervention, but it's another effectively having it to work, you know.
Let's remain optimistic and see. I mean, this is supposed to solve a problem.
Okay.
You know, so we hope that it really does.
Right.
Let's give it time and see how it goes. And then after that, we'll see what else they might introduce to fix the problem. But yes, we have guests joining us on the big issue this morning. And very quickly, let me go through the list. I have, as usual, Austin Brackopowers. He's a private legal practitioner. Dr. Owusua Eshianote is a research fellow, Africa Institute of Migration and Security Research. Tanko Rashid Computer, acting CEO, GIFEC, and a member of the NDC. Emmanuel Senyo Ameplenu is a member of the NPP Comms team, and Dr. Ramsey Inusa, Director of Political Research, United Party. So we have a full team, full house as well, and we hope to have a good conversation today.
All right. Welcome. This is still TV3 Newday. We are just about to get into this morning's segment. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. All right. Are we cashing out this morning as well? Yes, we are cashing out. *439#, *439#. If you're a Telecel or MTN subscriber, you're dialing *439#. You're choosing option 2, which is the TV3 option. Please follow the rest of the prompts, and you're good to go. You're good to win in a wholesome 1,000 Ghana cedis into your Momo wallet this morning. Please start playing now to increase your chance of winning. All right, welcome to This Morning.
You're welcome back, and it's time for This Morning. And this morning, we're talking about that statement that has been released by the Environmental Protection Authority regarding the banning of polystyrene foam products effective January 1, 2027. So we'll go through the statement, take a look at it, and of course, we'll activate the phone line so you can share with us your thoughts on this matter. So it says that on the 5th of June, 2025, during the World Environmental Day celebration, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama announced the government's policy to ban the importation, production, and use of polystyrene styrofoam products in Ghana as a critical measure to combat plastic pollution and safeguard the environment. Pursuant to this policy announcement, the EPA wishes to inform the general public, manufacturers, importers, distributors, retailers, food vendors, hospitality operators, institutions, and all relevant stakeholders that the ban on production, importation, distribution, sale, and use of polystyrene foam products, popularly known as styrofoam, or takeaway packs in Ghana, shall become effective January 1, 2027 banned. And so the ban shall apply to all forms of expanded polystyrene EPS foam products used for human activities and commercial purposes, including but not limited to food packaging containers and takeaway packs, disposable cups and plates, foam packs used by restaurants, chop bars and food vendors, sealing and insulation materials made from polystyrene foam. Does that mean POP is one of them? Is it made from, oh no, it's not, raffia, okay. Foam mattresses, embedding materials, packaging and cushioning materials, any other form of polystyrene foam products intended for human use or consumption-related activities. The prohibition shall, however, exclude EPS products specifically intended for medical, scientific, laboratory, and diagnostic purposes, subject to applicable regulator. This policy directive forms part of national efforts to protect public health, improve environmental sanitation, reduce plastic pollution, promote sustainable development, and ensure compliance with established environmental standards. And it's very important because, I mean, beyond the fact that it also has an effect on our environment, it has an effect on us because we're told that it contains some carcinogenic materials and that could cause cancer, which is why it is important that we have it banned as soon as possible. Right now, with the way cancer is attacking people with no known cause of it, it's important that they address it as soon as possible. So at least we can try and fix one aspect of it and hopefully that can reduce the incidence of cancer in people.
Some questions on the minds of Ghanaians this morning, and we are asking that, is this realistic? Are we going to be able to realistically enforce this? Because over the past years, I mean, we've seen moves here and there by the EPA to ban plastics in this country. Are we going to realistically enforce this? The other question many people are asking is this going to hurt the local food vendor? Most of them, you know, bring these packs in bulk to use over a period of time. And how many of them would be able to exhaust what they even have between now and the 1st of January 2027? What if they are not able to exhaust all of it? It means that they are about to lose money. But the most important question we should ask is Ghana ready for this behavioral change? We've used these plastics over a very long time. We've seen flooding, we've seen debts, we've seen a lot of things as a result of these plastics or the takeaway packs that we use. But is Ghana really ready? Ghana will talk, you know, we'll just go around the issue. But when it really comes to enforcement, that's when the excuses start to spring up and all of that. Are we ready for this change? And the other question too.
Well, hold on with your question. Let me just really go through the rest of the statements and then we'll come to that as well, because there's a second part of it. It says that in preparation for the implementation of this directive, the authority requires all manufacturers, importers, distributors, and users of polystyrene foam products to commence transition to safer, reusable, recyclable, and environmentally sustainable alternatives. The authority will, over the transition period leading to 1st January 2027, undertake nationwide stakeholder engagement, public education, and technical consultations, while simultaneously strengthening compliance, monitoring, regulatory inspections, and enforcement preparedness to ensure full adherence to this directive. The authority shall collaborate with all relevant institutions, including the Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Assemblies, port authorities, custom officials, and industry regulators to ensure effective nationwide enforcement of the ban upon commencement. Well, that means that we have 6 clear months before the ban actually takes effect. The general public is encouraged to support this national environmental protection measure by adopting sustainable consumption practices and environmentally friendly packaging alternatives. Protecting the environment, our collective responsibility, and it's been signed by management. It was signed yesterday by the EPA. And so that is the concern right now. And of course, valid questions that you're asking as well as to whether we can really enforce it. It goes back to that issue. Was it on the there was a highway where we saw Galamsey actively taking place sometime last year or 2 years ago, and we actively talked about it here. I think it was before the 2024 elections, and there were concerns about the EP and whether they were even aware that this was happening there, especially by the road.
And they were not even aware.
A lot of excuses. So now that's also the concern, because yes, the EPA has released the statements, but are they going to be effective enough with the MMDAs? Because these MMDAs as well, there are people who build on waterways. We wait for the building to get to a certain point
before they come and break them down,
and then so how effective are they going to be? We're not trying to poo-poo your job this morning, but we're asking very valid questions. Are you going to be active on the ground to ensure that this ban takes effect from the 1st of January? Because it's for our good. Like you said, it's our collective responsibility to protect the environment. So don't leave it to us, the journalists,
it's
to always
for
talk
everyone.
about it.
Yeah.
You also have to do your part
for everyone
as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Get on the phone lines and have a conversation with us this morning. And I'm told, Megina, I've been asking of you for days now. It's great to have you. I only hear your messages read online, but it's great to have you here this morning.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, meeting the beautiful ones in Ghana.
Hey.
I believe TV3, your management have eyes. If they are men, they will know how to woo.
Megina, ayeye. Let's go to the substantive issue. Ayeye.
And also to my boss, Roland, and the back of the house team. I mean the production team. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, Megina.
Please, Kukiti.
Megina.
I want to ask this question. So, do you think it is the polythene bags that we use that is causing the flood?
Data has shown that it is a great contributory factor.
Okay. But I am telling you, when you come to our areas, the most important factor is our lack of good planning. When you come to Sunyane, people have built on waterways. So you ask yourself, I heard you asking, what are the assemblies doing? When you go to assembly, we have a unit called physical planning. Now they have turned to be people demarcating land for people to build. They don't see people building on the waterway. Just recently, the Nyamai said, if he see anybody build on the waterway, he would take the law into his own hands to demolish that structure. And I support that idea. Why should we sell land on waterways to people to develop? Not also forgetting about the people, the most wicked people, land commission people. I am describing them so because they are the people the law has mandated to let people build on the right land. They are not supposed to sell land.
Megina, try and wrap up for us. Megina, wrap up for us. Other callers are.
So wrapping up, I'm saying that we need to force the people on the planning unit to do the right thing for our livelihood to be. And when the government also invests this World Bank project, Sunyane, they have consumed the money. They didn't do any proper work. Yesterday, when the rain fell a bit, it was taking us around the Stambik Bank area. And Sunyane taking Chinyama area. Why? Thank you.
Thank you, Megina. You can send in your messages as well. Simon Yang has sent a message saying, Cookie, the plastic menace is actually disturbing, but just merely banning them without replacing them with fast biodegradable materials or any other alternatives may pose a lot more problems. Greetings to you and Bella, and my son Aziz Donla, incoming Upper West Regional Communications Officer of the NDC. Bella, I'm told another caller is on the line.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kukiti.
Good morning, and Bella is here as well. May we know your name?
This Anan Sapperman.
All right.
This morning.
Good morning.
Let me take the opportunity and greet my boss, own brother, Ronald, and then everyone, all the media general staff.
Thank you.
My issue this morning is the way our people we think. And by the way, let me greet my MC, Honorable.
By the time you finish greeting, all the time is gone. No?
At the Amasaman constituency.
Please go straight to the point, sir.
I'm saying that let me use this opportunity to greet my MC, Honorable.
Boss, we understand, but there are lots of people who are also waiting. So you've greeted a few people. Please.
Okay.
What they call on the top of my
He has started doing removing the gutters inside, and you see our country, the plastic things that we use. Some of the people who are now building, they will build and castle all their house with cement. So when they have the boiler, they will come outside the fence wall and then put the boiler there, minding that they will burn it. And they will put it there for some time. So before they run, the boiler will fly away everywhere, and our gutters will choke. So specifically, it goes to those people who have money, who have built for themselves. They don't think about the nation. So as they are now going to ban this rubber, we should all think those who are also, it's their business that getting small coins inside. So somebody, you get your own money to go and build. By your reckless or whatever, the person who have only maybe 100 Ghana to do business, is now going to lose his business. So we too, Ghanaians, we should be reasonable sometimes. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to believe that anybody will lose their business, because in this case, they've given enough time for them to move on to other ways of producing packs that are environmentally friendly. I mean, you buy food and you see it in paper packs anyway. So maybe we can start producing that. And that way people will still stay in business. We have another caller.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to TV3 Newday.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Babaka. I'm calling from the Katanko constituency.
Okay, but please listen to us through the telephone and not the TV sets, because I can hear the feedback.
Yes, my sister. Thank you. Good work you are doing for the country. You are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
This morning, let me graduate to my chairman, whoever you are.
Are you still there?
We've lost
Hello,
him,
good morning. Oh, we
unfortunately.
have.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll get to messages now. Kenneth Salah Yusuf on Facebook says, Cookie and Bella, in fact, I'm very disappointed in the AU. Such wicked xenophobic attacks on fellow Africans, and they are mute. Cookie, I think Ghanaians should also rise and fight for their jobs like Nigerians have started. Ban on plastics, yes, and that's in capitals. Extend my greetings to Chief Tingowura Seidu Abudu. Okay. Thank you for your message. You can also send us your message. There's a long one from Humado Sichupe, and he says, good morning to the both of you. Poor plastic management and harmful chemical exposure can increase health risks over time, including cancer-related. Bella, you mentioned that early on. Including cancer-related concerns, hence its ban. Unfortunately, society often talks more about cancer than taking proactive measures against it. Regular screening, early diagnosis, public education, healthy lifestyles, and improved healthcare support are essential in reducing cancer cases and saving lives. We must move beyond speeches and invest in prevention, awareness creation, proper waste management, and accessible healthcare systems to effectively fight against that problem called cancer. Humado, this is a very good piece. Thank you for your contribution this morning. And I think that we must take it seriously because health experts are still not able to tell us.
Hold on, I think we have a caller.
Oh, there's a caller? Yes. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
The flood-related issues. So if the authorities are listening to TV3 now, they should contact me so that the way that we can go and then stop the business, the flooding, and then we do it.
Sorry. So I missed a bit of what you said. You want them to stop what business exactly?
You see, no, the roof, the water from the different rooftops, if they come together, it makes, what do you call, that caused the flood.
Ah, okay.
So every house, we have to get some what do you call, manhole at every house, so that the water that come from the roofing, we store it and use it for other activities.
All right.
That will make the this in the stop. But if they stop the this in the plastic, this is plastic. If they,
you don't think that will solve the problem?
The plastic, to solve the problem, that will not end the problem.
So we need manholes.
The water from the flood no more than plastic, you know. Which is almost contact me now. The way I ever pass and some able stop flood related issues.
Yo, that's it. Cookie, welcome on the line.
Good morning, Thompson. Where are you calling us from?
Yes, good morning, Cookie and Bella. I'm calling from Medina.
Okay, what's the situation in Medina? Was it okay yesterday or it was really bad? Because I'm told that is a flood-prone area.
Yes, it's a flood-prone area, but where I am, it's okay. There's no problem here, unless maybe other parts of the Medina.
All right, your contribution is welcome.
I'm around the Songo Junction area.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think the ban on the plastics is good news because when it comes to sanitation, Medina is not doing well, especially around the market areas. In fact, I can bet you that at any time of the day, whether morning, afternoon, or evening, or night, you come to Medina, you will see heaps of refuse at certain points at any time at all.
Wow.
And majority of these, just by looking at it, you will see that they are mostly plastics. So I mean, the ban will really do. I think Honorable Mahama Yariga attempted it some time ago and kind of backfired. But I hope now they are taking better steps to get it done.
This one, the president.
I want to also bring this to your attention. It's like many callers are gradually turning the show into greetings from abroad.
We are dealing with it.
If they can really do something and also set a time limit, it will be very good. Thank you.
We're dealing with it. Thank you very much. On that note, let's remind all callers that please, when you call, just go straight to the issue on the table that we are dissecting. The greetings are taking a major part of your submission, and it's causing havoc for other callers who also want to call and contribute. So please, when you call, do away with the greetings and just go straight to the point. Sherry Giovanni says, good morning to you both. Thankfully, I live in a region where littering the environment is seen as an offense against the gods of the land, and everyone is guided. And he's talking about the Volta region. We are not experiencing the floods in my area. Secondly, South Africa is an economic powerhouse. Hence, AU is scared to even sanction South Africa. Cookie, during the era of the Cold War and the apartheid, the UN placed several sanctions on South Africa, but it had support from the West and Israel and survived through it all. There should be a diplomatic engagement with South Africa and authorities. Good morning to Miss Miriam Oga, all right, and Mr. Isaac Indomi of UEW. Another call on the line,
I think
Bella.
we do, yes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my
Good morning, Ibrahim. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, please go straight to the point then.
I'm just speak my mother language. You see, other you can follow many you women. You are now all about on your foreign and all your other man. You know, ya sisi YouTubana ya the chigana here. Anything ya suboto obedience. Can you imagine? I took after a ball this war. What should they just say at the ball and at the court? Because of so once you lose 50%, they come and propose this one. Nedu ball that for to know. They did so a little monsuato and sana at the go team. No, if they go team, no. I look on the Kuchoka. I look on more young, the one who would have done, no one saw what it is as soon as I didn't know. So soon you don't come on. But the idea said the same one or chance. On the good love for that one, it won't go to a really Kuchoko, and soon you develop no market for the Papa Bono. No one would be done so. One in there, how you shoot me, Ginabia. One of there, at California, I can scared. I come, said the same one, sir. All the worship they don't say which down no, and the sky come on over the go. What they didn't not okay in yet. Because you're gonna, you're not saying you should not walk on them and love no damn. If you are sitting with Subana, Next the man you record down so what to be you because younger credit the best say yes ban. President all body there. All the women not to you and see after yes ban. They are far going to pay and far bonnet then I'm going to put out cleaning. And now to put cleaning the a man now one of what you have to know one way a man boy ye. Let's say that the money the money more than the money why ye. Yes, you ban a money to put cleaning. Which chairman and not to be the old young come.
Yeah, that one you know see.
I like your fancy.
Elective
fancy because I heard you say in your.
me try to understand it. It moved to 2026 now. Maybe what 2012. Me understand the previous sentence. No, but I think I caught a big part of what he said. Of course, basically a behavioral problem that we have in this country, and the fact that we are not implementing our law. So the MMDAs are there. We're not seeing them do their work. And so people are building all over the place. And we ourselves, we also have a problem.
And
that's true.
And so there's a message here that adds to that from Raphael Apeji. And he says, environmental issues are common sense application and not egoistic. Waste can best be managed at the point of generation and not at a strange point. People buy things in rubbers and just drop them anyhow. Environmental sustainability just has to think globally and act locally to prevent escalation. Raphael, this is a very, very good message. And that was the question I asked. It's actually more than 90% behavioral change. And now we are just asking, would Ghana change this time around? We've seen it, and even on your screens right now, when we are talking, you see the waste, you see the rubber, and if this does not convince you enough for us to ban this, then I don't know what else. But you can send your messages. You can also call us. Bella, if you don't have messages, I have one from Prince Henry Koforidua, who says that I support the ban. Ban after ban, and then what next? The various assemblies should support the EPA to implement the banning so that it will benefit all of us. PHK, we hear you. Landlord Bolga D. Line says that this is a great step and it's welcome. We should also regulate plastics. Plantain leaves are the way to go, or use your own bowls when you're buying food outside. Now let's think about this. If you ban it, then it simply means that it will be having a negative effect on us. So if it's going to be effective from 2027, it simply means that you do not care. I don't understand the last part of your message, but yeah, landlord from Bolga.
Do not care that what?
Okay, then let me let me just finish it. He says that if you ban it, then it simply means that it may having a negative effect on us. So if it's going to be effective from January 2027, it simply means you do not care about the effect during these 6 months period. Of course, government cares. That's why they are giving you some good 6 months to do away with them. How can you tell me poison is dangerous, but I should drink it for now and stop using it next week? Of course, we have to be realistic as well. I mean, landlord Bolgadila, you just can't get up today and say you've banned it totally today. What happens to the normal water seller? Have you provided other alternatives for these vendors to use before you ban it? So I understand where you're coming from. I don't think that the effect will be negative. Of course, we are trying to phase it out and it should take time. Government is not insensitive to just get up and say that effective today, we are banning all plastics. That's why they've given you, exactly.
You take your hands
or you take your bowl to go and
if you don't have a bowl, when you get the auntie-mommy, watch it too.
No, they go and say, Mama, yeah. But we need time to phase it out, so please be patient.
The issue about the polystyrene foam, now if you read on it, it says that it causes severe environmental damage through its toxic manufacturing process, extreme resistance to biodegradation. And with that in particular, it says that it does not readily decompose. It persists in the environment for hundreds to thousands of years, meaning nearly every piece ever created still exists in our environment. So that should tell you how bad the situation is. Nearly every piece, because it doesn't decompose. If it's taking 1,000 years, we're in what, 2026?
Yeah.
So we probably have plastics that were produced maybe 1026. How do you even say 1026 or whatever?
You know, I've always tried to pronounce it.
Still in existence in our environment as it stands now. So when the rains come, if they've choked one gutter or drain or the other, they still get washed back onto the streets. And then eventually we sweep them, put them back, they find their way back into environments. They never really go away. So we have to make do, we have to do away with them as soon as possible. And there was, when we're talking about the behavioral change, there's a video that went viral about a week or two ago where we saw two half-naked women, were told in one of the communities in the city, pouring rubbish into
Bella,
the
they
flood.
Do. And you know what happens? They wait till it's cloudy, and then they time it. Once it starts to rain,
then they just pour it.
And it happens all over.
I have a problem with
it. It happens all over.
You see,
some people throw it on their roof for the water to wash. It's just...
And you see the worst part, when you see a vehicle driving by.
Oh, my goodness.
And then you see someone drink water
and then
or drink something
they just
from
fly
plastic,
it out.
And sometimes I really want to just go and cross the car.
You know.
Let them get down and say, go and sweep.
I know.
I don't have the authority.
I know.
But that's how upset I get
Yeah.
when I see people do that. Because you're trying to fix the problem, and then there's a group of people who have decided no matter what you do, we'll still compound the problem.
And
so
for
you
the
have to have a
vendors,
behavioral change.
and for the vendors who have stalls, especially by the gutters, where they make no trimu. Munya se mo pra anopa rubber ni nyina no mudi gu gutters no mo. It is wrong. Don't do that. A woman on the Spintex Road fought with me one morning when I was going for a walk because she was sweeping all the plastics into the gutter. I approached her, talked to her nicely, and she flipped only because me correcting no. Ghana subaino no, please. For those of you who have stores, mo amowo stores a ewo gutter no yes remo. Mamu pra rubber ne efin engu gata ne mu opra na wasesa na de egu ball mu na ball afo abefa memfa engu gata ne mu na ebechoki na wenya flood in our area mu. I hope that I am understood this morning. Thank you to all of you who sent messages and have called us. For those messages that we've not been able to read, forgive us. We are running out of time, but thank you anyway. But just to remind you to pack up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck milk shortcake. It is a pure delight. Get some for your friends and family. We take a break. When we come back, Bella will be spearheading the big issue. We'll be right back.
Them say hustle low, hustle for the paper. Small boy they hustle, then somebody want to enter.
Is it tomorrow that we share the meat?
That's right. It goes without saying. It goes without saying.
So you give us the invitation.
Oh, definitely.
Off camera.
Definitely.
Okay, we hear you. We'll be waiting.
But how
for
strong
it.
are your canines?
Oh, don't worry. Very strong.
They're strong.
Ah, for me, it's why not?
No problem.
She can borrow some. I can borrow some. I know. Also, next to him, we have Emmanuel Senyor Mekplenu. He's a member of the NPP communications team. My first time meeting you as well. Yeah. But I hope you're well.
I'm doing well.
You look very sharp.
Thank you.
Everything okay?
By God's grace, just that a bit worried this morning.
Why?
Was coming to your studio. 2 days or 3 days ago, I received a message from MTN prompting me that starting from 1st of June, there would be deduction of some transactional levy, which seems to be more or less like Nicodemously sneaking back e-levy into the system. And I feel a bit worried because I am of the view that why is government not being the one communicating to us, but Nicodemously it looks like there is an opaque governance being run through the banking institutions who are not communicating to us, because if such levies are coming, it should not be coming, or we should not be getting to know from our bankers first. Government should be telling us. But I'm aware with the BOG's report recently, there are some issues being raised by the banks. So I want to believe that as part of their meeting they had with the BOG, this is one of the mitigating measures in terms of the dollar deposit. And it's a bit worrying that the banks will be coming out with this levy 0.75 at this very moment, where the system seems to be very, very tough for all of us. This morning, in fact, it took me God's grace to even get fuel into my car, because for some time now, getting cash has been a challenge for me.
Broke?
It's not easy.
But your suit doesn't communicate that.
Oh, if I tell you that this is a gift, you won't believe it.
It's a gift?
It's a gift. You won't believe it.
Really?
So it tells you that I am unable to afford. But by God's grace, my younger brother who felt that, my senior brother has once supported me before. You've been going on set. Let me help you today. Oh. So he actually showed that sort of
bless your brother.
Yeah, God bless you.
May he always get money.
Wherever you are, Adam, God bless you too so much. So that's my worry.
Fuel back from here. Do you need fuel so that we can?
Oh, that would be so.
Put a bow here.
That would be so generous. That would be so generous of you, because the economy is so, in tatters. It's in tatters. It's in tatters.
But Bella, gracefully for Senor, the cost of fuel is relatively better than what we were used to previously. So that is also...
Yeah, started to early.
At least that is also another...
I am talking about myself. So, Bella, that's my challenge this morning. But beyond that, I think that we are good to go. At least God has given me grace to walk or drive from my house to this place. I should be grateful.
We thank God for that. And please, producers, get the bowl ready. When we are done, we'll do off a trip.
I'm sure your colleagues and my colleagues, they will be the first people to,
we'll contribute.
Yeah.
If I see this,
it's going to be a harvest time. We'll do
I know,
harvest.
right?
Yeah.
We'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. See how Council is even laughing. He's even shocked.
Oh, because he has made more cash. These days he's doing some legal education, so I'm told that there's more cash.
More cash.
Yeah, so he will
He's
support
been doing a lot of petitions too, actually. Also in the studio, we have Austin Bracco Powers. He's a private legal practitioner, and about 5 days ago, he actually petitioned the Supreme Court to declare laws on publication of false news and false communication as vague, subjective, incompatible with free speech. You've been very busy.
Bella.
That's probably why we didn't see you last week.
I think it's part of our role as citizens, staying awake. Remember, the previous government told us not to be spectators. Yeah. But the sessions, these are vexed sessions. Bella, session 208 of Act 29, as well as session 76 of Act 772. These are sessions that are vague, and if they are not narrowed down, it could be used as a tool to punish or to even stamp out dissenting voices. So it's an opportunity the Supreme Court has. In fact, the jurisprudence across Africa is that they are moving away from these colonial penal sessions. If you look at Kenya, South Africa, they've struck a number of such provisions down. And we think, and I believe this is a fine opportunity for our Supreme Court to also chart the same path, so that at least we can sanitize the system. It is not to say that we don't need provisions or we don't need laws to regulate the way people post things or say things, because even the Constitution is clear that no right is absolute. But if you want to put some restrictions, the restrictions must be clearly defined for the people to have an expectation that if I cross this boundary, there will be repercussions. But it should not be vague and open to interpretation depending on the government of the day.
Okay.
So, I believe, free speech is not a gift from the government to Ghanaians. It is the right Ghanaians retain against the government.
Yeah.
So we must, those in power must have that mentality. That is not, they are not giving us the opportunity to speak freely. It is a gift, is a right we have against them.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the update on that, by the way? It's been 5 days.
Yeah, so we are just hoping that the Attorney General will do the needful and respond. If they feel, because it's not every time that Attorney General must defend. Sometimes when you see the sense in a writ, you must support it. That's how we move forward. So you expect
that they support you?
Yes, I think they should support it, because when you look at the disinformation bill, the proposed disinformation bill, there's a plan to repeal some of these sections. So if really the government believes in repealing these provisions, then the Attorney General has no need to oppose it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's wait and see what happens. But good morning to you if you're watching us on Facebook as well at TV3 Newday and TV3 Ghana. And we're getting a lot of messages already. There's a young man, Mike Fire, he says that, Senor, you are lying already this morning. And that's how can you be dressed this nicely and you say you don't have, you didn't have fuel, so someone had to give you fuel money. Anyway, good morning, Agongo Roja. Also to Kwejo Fiagbe. He says that this is a call to Sam Nate George, the Comms Minister, to act. I believe it's in relation to the text messages that Senior received. He's not the only one. In fact, a number of people have also received a message indicating that MTN is going to be charging some 0.75% on Momo to bank transfers, and it's starting from the 1st of June this year. And it's a text message that they always, I don't know if you use MTN and if you receive it as well.
Definitely, but also to add to what Senor is saying, the policy intimated that they are going to cap it at 5 cedis. So whether you deposit 1 million cedis or 10 million cedis, you are still going to pay 5 cedis. But I think that it is relative, the authorities look at this matter. MTN is already rich. They are very profitable. So what would 5 cedi deposit into your bank account do for them? You understand what I'm saying? I think that they should save us that grace and allow us to do our transactions without any charges from our wallet to our banks.
Yes,
account.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we do hope that we can get some more details on this so that subsequently we'll discuss it. But this morning, we're focusing on Ghanaians who are stranded in South Africa. And just about a week ago, we expected a number of them to be evacuated back to Ghana. Unfortunately, we had different reports. The Minister of Foreign Affairs did indicate that there were some logistical issues, which is why they could not bring them. However, there were also some reports that indicated that even though they expected a large number of people to appear at the airport to be flown back to Ghana, only one person appeared, and he granted an interview, spoke on the matter, etc. But beyond that, we've also seen a number of Ghanaians. In fact, yesterday, there were a number of Ghanaians who were stationed at the High Commission in South Africa, going through screening processes to ensure that they would be eligible to get on that flight, which is being taken care of by the government of Ghana and brought back to Ghana. So tomorrow, we're expecting some 300 Ghanaians to come, first of all. And then after that, we'll have a number of other Ghanaians also being evacuated back to the country. And all of them spoke to us yesterday, very heartbreaking concerns that they raised. And so we'll go over and listen to them one more time, and we'll get into the conversation, because government has announced some interventions for them once they touch the Ghana soil. And so we'll get into that conversation. But also Dr. Owuswa Eshia-Norte, she's a research fellow, African Institute of Migration and Security Research. She joins us via Zoom. Good morning, ma'am. I hope you're well. Hello, Doc. Can you hear me? You've muted yourself. You have to unmute yourself. I just want to take your remarks quickly, and then we'll take the video. But, well, maybe we'll rectify that. Let's just go listen to what these Ghanaians had to say about what they faced in South Africa over the last couple of years, and after that, we'll start the conversation. Take a look.
Because of the work, that's why I came here.
What work exactly do you do?
Hairdresser.
You're a hairdresser?
Yes,
now,
please.
Now I'm told that you were physically attacked. What exactly happened to you?
That case is last week Sunday.
What happened?
I was the work. So the time I closed the work, and that guys started to attack the people, chasing the people out at the shops. So I ran away and they chased me. Mommy, so fast they beat me a lot. They hate me. They beat me a lot.
They beat you?
Yeah. They hit me. My hair. If you see my face, they are stitched now.
Oh no. Oh my God.
More than 6.
More than 6 men? And they were hitting you. What was their reason for attacking you?
They said they must leave that town.
Is this the first time you faced something like this, or has it happened before?
Yes, mommy. It's first time.
Wow. But prior to being attacked, had they been coming to the shop to threaten you? Were there threats?
Yeah, it's threat. And they said they must leave this country. They don't want to see us here. All of not only me, the Ghanaians.
So you're ready to come back home now?
Yes, please.
Okay. And so you're one of the people who's registering, hoping that by Wednesday or whichever time they can bring you, you'll get on that flight and come to Ghana?
Yes, please.
When you come, are you concerned about what work you will end up doing here?
Yeah, because I don't have anything. In case if I'm coming home, I don't have anything to do it. But if I get something, I'll start my business.
South Africa, say Kope Jumaye.
It's now in fierce any.
3 years, minya 3 years. In this month, minya 3 years. Na 3 years, minya ya na mesabe fie.
Then Emma wa be fie. Kache.
Na meso mi be fie ni say South Africa Ukraine sister. Wansha, we risk your life. Nipa ne wokru mu omo ndwi nipa na ahoho ho. Omu se okasa ye different na mu ye mienu mi sam okatwi kura de a wo ho ye omotan.
All right, and these are some concerns by Ghanaians. Unfortunately, that woman was attacked by 6 men. Very heartbreaking. And, I mean, it's only by God's grace that she's alive to tell her story. We don't know about other people, not necessarily Ghanaians, but other Africans who may have lost their lives as a result of these xenophobic attacks. There's also a teacher who spoke to us, and he says he went to South Africa legally to teach. But unfortunately, when his license expired and they needed to renew it in South Africa, they refused to renew it. And they want him to come back home. So he's ready to come. Even if they post him to the north, he's ready to go and teach and give back to Ghana because he cannot take the attacks anymore in South Africa. Very heartbreaking concerns there as well. But again, let me just say good morning to Dr. Owusua Eshia Norte. She's a research fellow, African Institute of Migration and Security Research. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Bella.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope you're well.
I am.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I'll come back to you shortly, but let me start off with Dr. Ramsey Inusa on this matter, especially because government has announced that beyond evacuating these Ghanaians, they also have some reintegration supports that they'll be providing for them. So transport assistance, once they touch ground, they'll provide transport to wherever it is in the country that they would want to go to. There'll be direct financial aid upon arrival. There'll also be additional stipends to help affected persons resettle after fleeing emergency conditions. And there will be psychosocial support and economic support for them as well to start businesses. But listening to these Ghanaians and understanding what they've been through, how do you feel about all that's going on?
Well, the pictures I just saw, I mean, it's giving me a feeling of melancholy this morning. I feel so disappointed that even our woman had to go through this barbaric, Afrophobic and xenophobic act perpetrated by these miscreants for their own political agenda. What is happening in South Africa today is I would say it's propagated by some form of political undertones.
What do you mean by that?
Yes. It is an internal struggle for power because don't forget that the local government election of South Africa is nearing to a close, and therefore the political actors, especially elements of the MK party, which is a breakaway faction of the ANC, right, are doing as much as possible to make the incumbent government of the ANC unpopular. And so you realize that issues of migration, right, have always scored certain, people have used that to score political points. The US is no exception. We've seen how the elections between the Republicans and then the Democrats, some utterances made by certain senators and politicians within the United States, and of course Donald Trump has been known to make certain utterances against even Muslims. And at a particular point in time, he called us a shithole.
Yeah.
We Africans, a shithole. And so, Bella, I think that what I'm seeing today is a betrayal on Africa's history. These miscreants do not appreciate the sacrifices made by the African continent, especially Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Namibia, in their struggle against the apartheid regime. There was a particular point in time where Ghana was giving them a safe haven to rejuvenate their political weapon against the apartheid regime. We gave them an opportunity to use our passports to go across the world to lobby world leaders so that they get the enormous support against the apartheid regime. And today, they turn their backs at us and say that we are the problems of their country. I think it's quite unfortunate. They stood there and allowed the white South Africans to dominate their economy. And today, 70% of South Africa's wealth is held in the hands of these white South Africans, right? And if not because of the contribution of we Africans, I'm not sure they would have even maintained this 30% position that they're enjoying today. I think that if there are issues of joblessness and unemployment in South Africa, the panacea to it is not violence and attacking fellow Africans. It is a policy intervention that should be undertaken by their own government. And they should protest in peace and not violate the rights of other African citizens. It is quite unfortunate. Let me commend the Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, for his steadfast approach on this matter. First, he used a diplomatic channel. He petitioned the African Union, right? I know ECOWAS has also brought his voice against this repugnant act we've seen in South Africa. But all in all, I would call for restraint at this moment. I mean, across the length and breadth of Africa, so that we do not also revenge and go towards this direction. Because the Western hegemonic system that propagated the Berlin Conference, that balkanized Africa's landmark or land, right? And all the agenda by these Western powers till date, and creating an invisible shackle on the minds and the future progress of we Africans are laughing at us. Bella, the Western powers are laughing at us, and we should not take this lightly. And if we are saying that we are going to revenge in that sense, then though, I mean, what is the whole agenda of African unity? What is the whole agenda of African unity? I think that this is a problem that needs to be tackled head on using diplomatic channels. I am a radical person. I would have also organized, mobilized people, and also done same in Ghana, because we know where the South Africans are in Ghana. But of course, to what end? To what benefits? Right? I do not believe that the toil and sweat of our forefathers, the likes of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Toure, Patrice Lumumba and the agenda they had for the unification of Africa, right, would be glorified if we are going to revenge on these acts of these miscreants. So what I would say is that kudos to this government for trying as much as possible to absolve these brothers and sisters in South Africa that are victims of these xenophobic attacks. Let me also commend one person, Bella, and this is where corporate Ghana also has to rise up to also try and support Mr. Ibrahim Mahama.
What about him?
He was able to give that man you said, what's his name? Emmanuel. An agency to distribute cement on behalf of Jatta, and gave him some form of seed capital to start up his new life in Ghana, coming back from South Africa. I think that is commendable. And if corporate Ghana would also take that same channel, I think that we can be able to absorb these excesses. It should not be a government responsibility solely. We have our faith-based organizations. The churches, the mosques should also come together to see how best we can be able to create a platform to absorb these brothers and sisters in South Africa so that they can reintegrate into our society and, of course, recuperate from the repugnant acts of xenophobia they face in South Africa.
Has the AU been... Well, they have been silent. How do you feel about it? Because there have been growing calls. Yes, Ghana has petitioned the AU. Yesterday was African Union Day, and a lot of us were asking questions that what is it about African unity that we should even be celebrating and marking at this point when we are facing this kind of negativity on the continent? And that's just like a small percentage of what the African continent is really going through.
You know, Bella, you've raised a very important issue. The African Union, I see it as a lame duck, and indeed a body that needs to be rehauled to deal with the contemporary issues we're facing as Africans. The African Union is more like a platform for just political speeches with no real action. That is how I see it. And if you look at the structures of the African Union today and how the African Union has been influenced by certain Western powers and indeed some of the Asian tigers. Today, let's look at the building in Addis Ababa. Who built that building? The African Union built. Who built it? China. It was not funded by us. To what extent? Why would China build that huge edifice for us? What is China's interest? I think that there are serious issues that the African Union is dealing with. We need to reform the African Union to deal with the contemporary issues of Africa. Today, a lot of leaders across the length and breadth of Africa are demanding for a permanent seat at the UN Security Council for we Africans, a continent of over 1 billion people. And you tell us that we cannot have a permanent seat at the world's most significant body when it comes to security issues. It is quite unfortunate. And that needs to be re-echoed and rehashed. And that is also a kind of, what do you call it, a paradigm that exposes the weakness of the African Union. Because since the year 2000, right, and post-2000 when we went to have the Eswatini Convention, and that's propagated that the African Union will lead a charge for at least 2 permanent seats on the UN Security Council. To date, we are not seeing that effect. So I think that going forward, we need to put more political pressure. We need to harness that collective Pan-African responsibility and educate our people of what Pan-Africanism is.
Okay.
Because, Bella, I do not think that we understand what Pan-Africanism is. We still do not understand that. And that is why today, a Ghanaian young man will get up and see a Ugandan woman and would want to marry the person, but the parents will reject the Ghanaian because he's Ghanaian.
He's Ghanaian, yeah.
Right?
I mean, even in Ghana,
in Ghana,
we do it to ourselves. So.
In Ghana, in terms of tribalism. And indeed, Chinua Achebe's book, The Trouble with Nigeria, espoused the Igbo problem. South Africa is also dealing with the Zulu problem. Yes, because all these people propagating the acts of xenophobia are from the Zulu tribe, which is quite unfortunate. I've not seen the Zulu king come out to put these people to order. So as part of the advocacy on this platform, I want to see a sanction on the Zulu King. That's number one. And sanction on other proponents or propagators of these acts of xenophobia and these marches that are causing mayhem in South Africa, that are affecting the well-being and the safety of our fellow African brothers and sisters.
Let me bring Senior in, because, I mean, government has disclosed that they have some interventions, financial support for these Ghanaians once they bring them. Definitely a step in the right direction, is it not?
Well, thank you very much. Again, very good morning to you and good morning to my colleagues. I bring you greetings from His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, the next President of the Republic of Ghana, come 7th of January 2029. He extends greetings to your good self and the public this morning.
We're grateful.
Yes, indeed. Let me say that it's a step in the right direction. However, I have few concerns that we have to look at critically. More importantly, from the angle of diplomacy. Now, first of all, let me register my sincerest displeasure towards what is going on in South Africa. I was on a platform with activists who needed to make their voices heard concerning the issue of what is happening. It's so bizarre for citizens to take the law into their own hands and be beating people, all in the name of they have taken our jobs, they have taken our women. Like, I just cannot fathom what the issues are. So it tells me that a country like South Africa is a lawless country. It means that they have papers that they claim they have written laws, but the laws are not working. The laws are just like the stone old age. That's like, you just cannot fathom what is going on. Now, there are instances where in our conversation, you see these South Africans very vociferous, indicating to you that they support what their colleagues are doing. And I ask myself, are these guys human? Like, who is actually giving them that energy to do what they are doing? Yesterday on your sister station, 3FM, I was telling them that, sincerely speaking, it has dawned on me some time back, these few weeks, to just gather boys and let's go and tell MT and pack your things and leave the country.
You've thought about it?
Yes! Are you happy with what the people are going through? There are South African businesses in this country. There has never been a single day, or there is no record to prove that any Ghanaian has attacked any South African in this country. If there is, that I don't know, let them show it. Look at how our people are treated. Like, tell it, Sebe, sorry to say. And to Magokra, it's so bizarre. And you ask yourself, what is leadership doing? And this thing is not starting today. This thing is not starting today. It's been a recurring situation. And when it comes, we put up a firefighting approach and we go back. We do not think about the long-term effects or the long-term plan as to how to stop it. It happens to Nigeria some years back. And this time around, it is Ghanaians.
Even the Zimbabweans as well.
Yes, but the Ghanaians are even facing it more. Now, the annoying part is the toothless organization called AU and ECOWAS. We are not interested in the fanfare. They have organizing conferences, go and, put themselves under one roof and tell you big grammar and big policies.
When did this happen? I'm trying to understand.
No, I'm talking about the fact that, most of the heads of state, they organize conferences, summits, the heads of state, you see plenty securities. The securities are needed for your citizens. One of the core mandates of every leader, the basic core mandate is to make sure you protect your citizens. Now, coming down, there is a situation in South Africa. Of course, I'm happy that the first gentleman who came got support from a private individual, that is fantastic. I will not sit here hypocritically and say that it's a bad thing. It's good. I just complain about the fact that I do not have fuel as I was coming. So generosity is good. However, let me state that the approach of this whole situation must be looked at. And let me commend the minority for their continued support in drawing the attention of the government on the approach to take. Now, one of the things I've realized is, if you listen, somewhere last week, there was supposed to be an evacuation of 300 people. Then the next thing we heard was it is postponed due to issues of logistics, issues of legal permits and medical screening. When you ask me, per statecraft, that is a breach of security for these people.
How so?
I'll take you there.
Okay.
Why do I say that it is a breach of security? Now, in doing in evacuating people, there are key measures that you need to look at when you are evacuating your citizens from a different country. It seems, or it appears to me, that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is being run on social media instead of applying, sorry to use the word, wisdom by bringing everybody on board. And I'm going to explain, and this is not to be taken in a bad context. If that is it, I withdraw it. It appears that it's being run on social media instead of being tactful and diplomatic about the situation. Now, here you are, you have declared to the public that 300 people will be evacuated. You have told us the date, the timeline, the processes involved. Then, within the next few days, you come back to tell us that it's been postponed. I call that premature ejaculation. In diplomacy, you must first of all get your things right. Tactfulness is the key word here. If you are not tactful and you just act, see, there is no diplomat who will just go and be talking like some of us will do. They talk with some sort of, respect. There's decorum in their approach. Now, the key measures that you need to look at when evacuating this people, the first thing that you need to consider is the risk and security assessment of the people. Because these are people who are being attacked. Now, in evacuating them, the first thing you have to do is their security. Their security is very important. You've thrown out every information. You've made everybody know that they are leaving the country so and so time. Imagine that the attackers plan a mob action. Because the countries...
I mean, they want them out. So if their government says we're taking them out, why would they even want to go and attack them? They'll be happy that they're leaving.
Hold on. Imagine that the attackers plan another action, which you and I cannot tell their, strategy. And you have now come to tell us that it's been postponed. They'll go back and attack the people again.
No, but in postponing, we're also told that they all were told to go to the High Commission, go through the screening process. So, in fact, yesterday, we saw a number of them who were told have been there for days, waiting.
But what you need to understand is that in the key issues, that is an act of incompetency. Because if you are evacuating the people, one of the key things that you need to do, you don't put out information out, disclose every necessary thing that needs to be done. You are telling us that, so are you telling us that at that point you did not check in terms of their permits, their flight permits? Because these are some of the issues that came out of the press statement that was released. Their immigration, legal issues and all of that, medical screening. Are you telling us that these things were not done at the time?
But if it wasn't probably done right, is it not okay to
So it means that there was a premature ejaculation. You knew you were not done with the issue. Why do you put out the information?
Okay.
Let's be straight.
forward with these issues. You were not done with the arrangement. Due processes were not done. There was no coordination. There was no proper coordination. But because of some sort of sensationalism, some sort of politics around the whole thing, some sort of fanfare, you put out information disclosing what needs to be done. You see, this is not about policies. This is not about politics. It is about the issue of diplomacy. And I keep repeating diplomacy because the foreign affairs minister, he is considered as a diplomat. Mm-hmm. So in issues of that nature, you don't just talk like the way Senor will come and be talking. Maybe I may not apply diplomacy or tactfulness, but he needs to be careful about the things he put out.
So he got it wrong.
He got it wrong in that instance. And I think that in the coming days, with the numbers that have, shot up to 800, I want to believe that we will not be getting another postponement again. Okay. But rather, the people will be brought back successfully.
Well, as it stands now, we're told that about 826 people have applied to return to Ghana. And so they're all undergoing the screening process. And if they go through it successfully, they will all be repatriated back to Ghana. Tomorrow, we're expecting some 300. Doc, please don't leave us. Dr. Usua, please stay on. I'll come to you shortly. But let me go to Austin Braco Powers. And let me also mention that Tanko Rashid Computer, acting CEO of GIFEC and member of the NDC, he's in the studio with us. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
All right. Council, let me come to you because, Senor is saying that the Foreign Affairs Minister got it wrong in postponing because he was not tactful in his approach. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I won't say the Foreign Affairs Minister got it wrong. I would say they were not ready. So saying they got it wrong, it's in a different light. But I won't say they got it wrong. Because the thing is that, and he well articulated that there had to be some clearance. There must be a way to approach this process. It's not something that you can just airlift your citizens into your country. There must be some structural steps. And those steps were not followed. So if we believe that they could have been flown immediately, then we will not be speaking truth to the fact. But, Bella, let me commend the government. In fact, they've moved with the speed of light and the structural seriousness that the situation demands. Mm-hmm. But I must say that commendable is insufficient. And I think we must assess government's response, not merely on their immediate reaction in the course of the crisis, but as to whether or not the response is coherent, sustainable, or structurally adequate response to the problem. We are talking about a problem that has been years in the making. And trying to fly your citizens to your country may not be the best fix for the problem. I agree with Doc. The thing is that we are not handling this issue as hard enough as I would have expected. I don't want to talk about the AU and the ECOWAS and co, because the thing is that structurally they were created to be lame. Structurally, when you look at their framework, their legal framework, they were created to be lame. Did anybody expect AU or ECOWAS or the SADC and others to react or respond in a straight manner? They will not. Because that's what I'm saying, that legally, their framework does not support them. Or the framework, their various legal frameworks do not support the kind of response we would ordinarily have expected from them. But, Bella, there's one question that no one is talking loudly enough. And it has to do with what is the position of government, or what is the support of government for those who have elected to stay. Mm-hmm.
Elected to stay, okay.
Not every Ghanaian wants to be evacuated.
Yeah.
Especially those that are legally there.
Mm-hmm. There are many Ghanaians who have deep roots. Children in schools, they have long-term contracts, they have partnership, relationship with South African communities. They will not want to come. What is the plan for them? We should not measure the success of this government solely based on the number of evacuees, but on the adequate response, long-term response or measures put in place for those who have chosen to stay, and rightly so. So I would urge the government to adequately staff the High Commission, to provide legal assistance and protection for them. Then there's another argument, Bella. What happens to the businesses that they are leaving behind? What is the plan for a takeover?
South Africa has to compensate them.
There must be, the government must put everything on the table. Because all I keep hearing is those who are being evacuated. What about the businesses they are leaving behind? Some have built businesses for decades. Some 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Which the locals have taken over. We're told they are closing down some of these shops,
closed down,
looting, doing everything.
They've closed down some, but the others, they are still going concern. They are making money, paying taxes. These are businesses genuinely created. What is the plan? And I'm proposing that beyond the handout government wants to give to the evacuees, government must set up a business loss and compensation recovery program. A business loss and compensation recovery program.
For those who will be coming back home?
Those who are coming home, who have lost their businesses by reason of the happenings.
Yeah.
And there should be a claim registry where government must catalog their businesses and their worth. And government must make a demand on the South African government. I think we should not be handling this in a lame manner. Government, even though I agree with Doc that there must not be reprisal attacks, government must be tough.
Is government being tough in asking, for a debate with the South African government? Because that's what they have requested for at their upcoming AU Media Coordination Summit. They want a debate with the South African government.
That's a midterm meeting.
Yeah, but it's on this matter.
Yes, and I agree with Senor. Those meetings are meeting for champagne. Those are champagne meetings. You expect anything seriously coming out of that meeting, or you expect them to put out a tough communique? They will just tell you that we have set up a committee, and those committees will be funded by Russia or maybe China. Then they will go and say they are on a fact-finding mission. Bella, I don't want us to bring in the AU, because those institutions, when we start talking about them, we won't finish. I'm saying that government must act tough. Beyond the handout, there must be a structural demand on the South African government to compensate Ghanaians who have lost their businesses. Those whose shops were destroyed by those hooligans. I don't want to say that, I don't want to dabble in their local politics. That's their business. Because you see, under customary international law, a government has a responsibility to foreigners, foreign national interest. If private individuals under your control, if you are not able to exercise due diligence to protect the interests of foreign nationals, you must be held responsible. And the South African government must not be absolved from any liability by reason of the fact that there is an internal conflict or is facing an internal rift with some faction. That is not a business. That's not our business. I'm saying that the government must respond rightly to the situation. And the situation and the response is not about giving handout to the people. Because you see, and I agree with Sonia, the thing is that the people you are bringing even into the country, you must screen them security-wise. These are people who have faced various forms of attacks. You don't know what they may have gone through and what they are even doing. Just flying them into the country is not even enough.
But we're not just flying them, we're screening them like we're told.
That is not enough. They have to go beyond that. We need to, because some of these people, we must look at, in fact, when they were in South Africa, what were they doing?
But you don't know the details of the screening process. So if you say it's not enough.
The High Commissioner explained. He had an interview with DWTV, and he explained the nature of the screening. What are they really doing? I'm saying that it is not. So I'm saying that they must go beyond the superficial screening that he described in the interview.
And do what exactly? That's what I'm asking.
We need to know. Some of them, they may have, in fact, they may have formed gangs in South Africa. They may find themselves in certain groups that we should be concerned about them. We need to know exactly what those groups are. We need to know the background of some of the people, because the thing is that the fact that they are citizens does not mean that in any case you want to fly them overboard or you just fly them to the country. You must understand the history behind them. The history behind what their relationship in South Africa. That's what I'm looking at. Because some of them may be a threat.
Maybe a threat.
Yes. Maybe a threat. Because you see, South Africa is a society that is replete with crimes. In fact, everywhere you pass. When you look at the data, the statistics in Africa, They are leading. And we must be cautious. I'm just saying that let's be careful. It is not simplistically bringing in your own people, but you must understand that those people you are bringing, what has been their history in that country? Are they clean? Do they have any record? That should be of concern to you. For which reason you must also caution your people so that when you bring them in, you must follow them. You must give security the opportunity to detail some of them. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a broader conversation. I'm not looking at just flying your own citizens to the country. It's not as simplistic as that.
But can we at least bring them in, and then all these other suggestions that you're coming up with can be followed
You are
through?
bringing the person you are coming to integrate the person in the society. You don't have the full fact. How would you know that just by bringing him into the country within 1 week, he may form a gang and they start worrying you? I'm saying that the government has a responsibility. We say responsibility must go beyond just flying your own citizens to the country. You must understand your own citizens, what has been their history in South Africa. What are the groups they may have joined? What is if there's any evidence, data concerning any crime they may have involved themselves in. These are matters we should also be looking at.
Okay.
Is it so? Bella, I'm saying that government has done well by outlining some handout to be given to these evacuees. But beyond that, let's make a high demand on the South African government.
Okay.
They must compensate the Ghanaians who have lost their businesses. And there must be a takeover plan. The businesses they are leaving, some of them are going concern. They are making profits. They are paying taxes. What is the takeover plan? Are we going to set up a consortium of Ghanaians who will monitor it for a period until the owners will decide on whether or not they will sell it or they will go back?
Okay.
These are matters the government must put on the table for all of us to discuss.
All right. And Mr. Tanko Computer is here, so I'm sure he'll respond to these concerns that have been raised across the table. But let me just quickly go on Zoom. Dr. Owusu Note is still on there. She's a research fellow, African Institute of Migration and Security Research. Doc, are you still there?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So just quickly as well, of course, based on what Council is saying, that there should be some compensation from the South African government to the businesses owned by these Ghanaians. And also beyond that, government of Ghana has also asked that there should be a debate with the South African government on this matter. The AU should in fact act on this matter as well and met out some sanctions to the South African government for what's going on. How do you respond to all these?
Yes, thank you very much, Bella. In fact, I agree with all that the panel out there in the studio are saying. But I must first say that is a very serious and painful matter, not only to Ghana, but the whole African continent. Yes. So these serious attacks from these South Africans on Africans, I think it's high time they put a stop to that. So I agree. There should be at the diplomatic level, there should be some talks between Ghana. And I think they've started, I must commend government's response. In fact, it is appropriate and timely. The visit of the Minister Okuja to South Africa, I think this month, sends a message that Ghana will not abandon its citizens in moments of danger. And I think it came as a relief to some of us who prioritize migrants' safety, who think that migrant safety is also very important. So yes, so I agree that there should be at that level serious talks between Ghana and South Africa for these attacks to stop. So I said yesterday somewhere in on another platform that the use of xenophobia, I think, is a little deceptive, because from time immemorial, we know that these attacks consistently have been on Africans. Okay, African citizens suffering in another African country, and I think this is sad. So we should really change this word xenophobia and go into Afrophobia. You understand? Yes, Afrinophobia, Africanophobia, but xenophobia is out. Xenophobia is the fear of the foreign, right? Fear and hate of the foreigner. This is not any other foreigner. There are a lot of foreigners in South Africa. So this time around, the attacks, most of the time, are meted on what? Africans. your own people on the same continent, and it is very sad. Yes, so I think that the talks at the diplomatic level, and one sad thing is that Bella, they are not listening to their government.
Yes.
Yes, they are not listening. Whatever the government came out saying that they are going to crack down these attacks, but they are not bad. The people, they are in the community with these migrants. Remember, migrants are not staying on any island.
Yeah.
They are integrated in the community, and they are staying with these people who hate them. So it is their lives are those ones that we should get very serious issues. They are really under threat. Their safety is must be guaranteed. And I'm glad of this move. People who feel seriously threatened have opted to register and come home.
Doc, so quick one, because you brought in the issue about the South African government speaking on this matter. On the 7th of May, in fact, they addressed this issue, and they described some of the videos as fake videos. You know, they did say that, yes, some of them were truly happening in some of the communities, but some of the videos were also fake. And so does that also not give these locals the power, the temerity to continue to do what they are doing? Because maybe government is speaking against it. They are not really fighting against it, because they said they are going to now have a meeting. All the ministers are going to sit down and see how they can address this matter. But on the ground, there's really no proper intervention to prevent these locals from attacking the other Africans.
Yes, thank you very much. So the question is it true that these videos are fake? I don't know. Whether they are AI generated, I don't know. Is it true? And if it's not true, then there should be something must be done about it. There should be proper investigation. I mean, you can't tell me that all these news portals speaking this information are all telling lies. You understand? There might be something. I mean, this did not start yesterday. It started long ago, where migrants were killed. 1998, 2060 people were killed through these attacks. And this is not new. So they cannot tell us these videos are fake. Even if one of the videos that we are watching right now is true, something must be done about it. Even if it's one. Let's say the thousands are now online. So you want to tell me that all these videos are not the right videos, are false or falsified videos? No. Well, even if it's one.
So this is what their minister, one of their ministers, said in a cabinet meeting. We're told that they briefed the media on the 7th of May, and it says that without specifying which footage we're talking about, the fake videos and images are not only fake, but they're intended to undermine the good reputation of South Africa internationally and undermine the country's pursuit of a better Africa agenda.
So, all right, thank you very much. That's good. So what about those who are registered to come home? Are they also lying? They've been going about their businesses in South Africa until recently that they said they want to come home because they think they fear of their lives are threatened. Are they also lying? Because I listen to people in various platforms talking about how serious the issue is and how they think that their lives are threatened in the community. Are they also lying? People have registered. Over 800 people have registered to come home. Do you want to tell me? I mean, the panelists in the studio talking about people have businesses. People are doing well. I wouldn't say well. I don't know. I don't know their profile. But people have been. They are students in there, workers. Okay, they are living their work. Business owners, entrepreneurs. So are you telling me that they just want to leave all their properties behind and come home? No, there should be something. I mean, I don't like that. It's all politics.
What should the AU be doing at this point?
Somebody said AU is a lame duck. Well, at that level, I mean, it's at a diplomatic level, and they don't. I mean, of course, so every country has its own sovereign rights to determine who stays and who lives, right? Fine, if you want people to live, just go the official route, and but don't attack them and force them to live as if they are animals and they cannot reason for themselves. Okay, so I think they want to really dialogue. they really want to dialogue. I think by now they'll be doing these things behind closed doors, and at the appropriate time they will come out. Yeah, so they would want to tread cautiously. This thing has been going on.
But tread cautiously when people are being killed, people are being attacked. There's a woman who was attacked by 6 men. She showed us the bruises on her face.
Yes, Bella. So
do we have the time to be treading cautiously at this point instead of taking drastic measures?
Yes, so South Africa has a government. So what is the government doing? It is the government's responsibility, not AU. AU is just an association of all these countries. Countries are responsible to protect not only their citizens, but migrants as well, and non-citizens. Remember, people have their investment in your country. You should just, what AU can do is just dialogue. They cannot force any member country.
They cannot impose sanctions on South Africa, for example?
Wow, I don't think whether we have a history of that. Have AU done that before?
But that's what Ghana is asking for, because when they petitioned the AU, one of the things they said is to establish a fact-finding mission to examine the underlying causes of xenophobic violence in South Africa and recommend appropriate remedial interventions and sanctions. So clearly, we are aware that they can.
Sanctions, sanctions in what form? I don't know. Sanctions in what form?
You tell us what if they should sanction.
So what they can do, So for example, those who have lost their properties through these vandalism, violence, and all that, do we have processes in getting them back? You understand? They are sanctioning the government for not protecting people. The government, right now, you are saying that the government is saying all that we are seeing online is not true. So they have made up their mind that nothing of that nature is going on. But we know something is going on, even how little something is going on. So it is the government's responsibility to protect. What AU can do is just to plead and persuade them to do the right thing and protect migrants.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Doc. Let me come to Mr. Tanko Computer now. And you've heard from Senor, for example, who says that, in essence, the Foreign Affairs Minister has not gotten it right in how they've handled the evacuation of Ghanaians in there. And Council is also saying that beyond even evacuating, what is the intervention that we're providing for those who have also decided to stay behind?
Very well. Let me say good morning to you, Bella, and our co-panelists here. And then the good people of Bimbila. Tomorrow is Eid al-Azha, the festival of sacrifice. It's an Islamic festival. I wish all of you could join me over there to celebrate. They are good people. Flyers. we don't have an airstrip there, so if you remind, we try. But Bella, I'm a confirmed CEO now. I'm no more acting.
Sorry, my bad.
Yes, so I think you should congratulate me.
Congratulations, congratulations. We are collecting off a tree for Senor. Otherwise, I would have said that. Yes. It would be nice to know.
We are resetting so that they can come up and join us well. You know.
Senor needs a little help.
Senor needs food to go back. No, I'm inviting you. We'll give him. You see, we are social democrats. Social democrats, we share a lot. So don't worry, I'll take care of that when we are
okay. Thank you very much. I'm
happy you've been confirmed.
Oh yes.
It's cause for celebration.
It's really.
I have challenges in mind.
Senor, allow him to.
Is it network or?
Yeah, network.
Oh, don't worry. Come.
Angloga.
Don't worry.
Yes.
Consider it done. That's how social democrats work. Now, you see, we must avail our mind to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, which was promulgated in 1961. It talks of how treaties are signed. I'm sure Council is here. In our study of public international law, we talk of treaties, how treaties are signed between states and all that. Ghana has been in forefront when it comes to dealing with diplomatic issues in the sub-region and all that. Don't forget, Ghana was one of the founding fathers of the then OAU. Remember, this job 600 you are seeing under Kwame Nkrumah that we put it up when they had a meeting here to talk of how to integrate our economies and all that so that we move ahead. Yes, I might share the view, especially Senor, when you talk about ECOWAS. ECOWAS has been dormant for some time now. due to some one or two difficulties that they went through. But I can assure you, this government is committed to protecting everybody, every Ghanaian, anywhere you find yourself. That is the hallmark of a government. It is not only in the country that you protect the people, even those outside. And that is why we have diplomatic missions all over. And I must say, the issue of their businesses in South Africa, our High Commissioner there, in fact, in one of his interviews, made it very clear, we have gotten some international lawyers and even Ghanaian lawyers to support them, and they filed a suit against the South African government about businesses that these recalcitrant guys are going about saying they are taking it over. They don't have that right. And it is very clear, even if you're reading of the Vienna Convention, it made it very clear when states have that kind of treaty with each other at how to handle diplomatic missions and all that. You don't go about doing these kind of things. And look, Ghana has supported South Africa hugely in their pursuit to become who they are today. Remember in the 70s, when we were young guys coming up and all that, we were always having this issue of singing their songs along. And then when Mandela was put in there and all that, even when he came out, government of His Excellency Jory John Rawlings had to dole out $1 million to support them when he came out and was going to contest as a president in South Africa. This is how committed Ghana, and even if you look at the South African countries, before they even became independent, I remember of South Rhodesia and Northern Rhodesia, most of them came into this country for training. They were trained here. We had the Kwame Nkrumah at the Logistics Center. Remember the like of Mugabe and all? Yeah. He even got his wife from Takoradi, Sally, who died later. So you see, we have been supporting them a lot. But you see, times have changed. And I'll say we are in the era of Gen Zs, the millennial and the Gen Zs. Most of them have forgotten about this history. They don't know the history of South Africa, the South Africa they are enjoying now. What other countries did for them to have it today. Most of them, they don't know this. And then we are saying that, and that's why our foreign mission is very clear in pushing the agenda of African unity. And I can assure you, look, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is on top of this issue. When you remember when he went to UN to push this issue of reparations, and then got almost 123 countries voting for that motion. Tells you that they respect us a lot when it comes to international circles. Now, these difficulties my colleagues were talking about, you see, I travel a lot, and when I go out, I meet a lot of Ghanaians who don't pass through the airports. They don't pass through. They don't pass through the airport, but they are there. Yeah. Now, when they find themselves in such difficulties, you have now bringing them. You are not going to bring them through where they came through. You have to pass them through what? You have to regularize it. So regularizing it, you need a lot of tact. That is where my brother didn't take his time to look at. They need a tact. You see, you have to be careful. South Africa, we have a lot of Ghanaians who are in there. They didn't pass through the right process.
In fact, one of them that we spoke to said he went through the bush.
At all.
Yes.
A lot of them. So now if you want to evacuate people like that, you have to do proper screening. Now, by doing the screening, you have to make sure you do all their documentation right, get it right. Otherwise, you send them to the airport, you are going to meet another difficulties. Legal issues to rise. Council is here.
You reject them.
You reject them, and then what are you going to do? So that is why we are taking it step by step. Okay, we have to give this assurance out. Let Ghanaians know that your families who are out there, your brothers and sisters, we are going to take care of them. We will make sure that we bring them home. But beyond that, you need to do a lot of screening.
But did we not know this when we announced
No, that's why I'm saying that you need to give assurance.
So last week's announcement
It's very important. It's very important. You must assure people, look, you cannot fold your arm as a country. When your people are being subjected to all this, and then you say that, okay, I'm going to do everything behind us, and they are pushing you back, and all Senor and his people will do press conference, attack us. So let them know that we are doing something for them. But we cannot just rush and say we are bringing you up. This is somebody country.
Mr. Computer, I need to understand.
Yes.
So last week there was an announcement.
Yes.
That there were going to be some number of Ghanaians who
were going to be evacuated.
And you're saying that was just assurance that was being given to
I'm saying that when that announcement was made, there was already preparation to bring in some. But the numbers that we saw over there, most of them didn't have this kind of proper documentation.
Did we not know that before we made
how will you know? How will you know this? When the people have passed through bushes and other things into the country. Even in Ghana here, we have them here, we're chasing them around here. Those who pass through the bushes and they are standing by our roadside and begging and all that. Do you know their numbers?
So
these are the things we
didn't take them through the screening process. We only announced that when they should show up at the airport.
The numbers that we saw that came to the embassy at that time, we could have easily brought them back. But when this announcement came, that people saw that it's becoming something else. They thought they could manage the situation and continue their businesses. But these hoodlums who were over there misbehaving, in fact, it's backed by the state. I support that issue. It's backed by the state in South Africa. Because some of the things, they are not fake listing. I have a friend who told me, when they are doing this, they are being protected by the security in South Africa. Okay? But these are the things they are hoodlums. And they are destroying the image of Africa, not South Africa alone. The image of, already the Western world are seeing us in different light. And then we do these things, we are even arming them. I remember the last time the South African president visited Donald Trump. Donald Trump was showing him some videos, how he nearly embarrassed him there in the White House. Now, if all these things is happening, then we give them the tools that they are already looking for. So yes, thankfully enough, AU, the foreign ministers and then heads of states are going to meet over this matter. And I know they are not going to take it lightly with South Africa over what they are doing. Because you see,
when have they taken sanctions against any country?
Oh, no, it's not only sanctions. And even in the matter of treaties and all that, there are a lot of things in there, built in there, that a state, when you violate these treaties being signed with your other state, you suffer it. And that is why we have a lot of, look, even International Court of Justice is that these things that they are doing. Do you know that somebody can go and file a suit over there against them for what they are doing? Because you remember South Africa went to court over Palestinian and then what? Israel, and even got some judgment over there. Why were they doing that? Why did they go to do that? South Africa is far off from Israel. But yet they saw that what they were doing there was some level of genocide. That's what they tried. And they sent it to International Court of this in justice to deal with the matter. Now look at what they are doing. Their own Africans. Now you went over there fighting for people who are outside your jurisdiction. Now in your own jurisdiction, you are misbehaving this way. And so there are a lot of things I believe, and I can assure you, this government is committed. We will protect them. We will protect the Ghanaians. Most of them are illegal immigrants over there. Most of them, in fact, they are illegal migrants. And we cannot say because they are illegal, we should let them suffer all these difficulties they are going through. Government is committed. We will do what we can to make sure that we bring them home. We will screen them. Those who don't have the necessary documentation, I can assure you, Honorable Ablakwa, he has learned fast on the job. He has learned very fast on the job. And he has that respect, because just yesterday, I can assure you, there's something behind the scene that they are doing.
What exactly?
And very soon, I mean, I won't bring out the cut
It would be nice to give us an idea of what's happening.
It is in the
assuage
interest.
his fears, for example,
it is in the interest of Ghanaians, and that Ghanaians will be happy that the kind of diplomatic actions that the government of the NDC is doing behind the scene. Look, it wasn't by mistake that the South African minister issued this statement that those videos were very fake. Because the kind of report we had reported them and the actions that we are going to take, they came out with this. And we are coming up with another action. Because Ghana, we are not going to allow this.
Are we going to sanction them? What are we
it's
doing
not
exactly?
I say we are not going. We are going to make sure our people are protected.
Okay.
Our people, their businesses are protected. Nobody is going to violate their human rights or take off their business unjustly. No, we are not going to allow that. We will make sure that we pursue where we even if there's a need to get my counsel here, brother, to join the system to go and argue the case to protect our businesses, we are going to do it.
Are you indirectly inviting him to join?
No, I mean, we are all going to join the system. This is that we need to do. And I'm very much concerned about it. So I can assure colleagues here that, look, let's be steadfast. This government will not let our people suffer there. We will bring them, we will make sure that all their documentations are put intact, and then they'll be evacuated. And when they come, we'll properly integrate them. Because some of them, you see, if you live in South Africa for about 10, 15 years, it's not easy to integrate in our culture.
Yeah.
So we have to let them go through a lot of orientations and other integration process. And I'm happy the good doctor talked, they are into immigration and all that. All this, their support should come in, consulting them to see how best we can support these people to integrate. When you travel out and you meet our brothers over there, this is the time for us to be a Ghanaian. Let's come home. Look, Ghana is a beautiful place. Look, anytime I go out and I finish my business, I want to fly back to Ghana.
But there are other people
because it's a very beautiful country.
Yes, that's true. But others have invested their whole life. They have their families, etc. there. So for them, they may not want to come back. What is the plan if they still insist on staying in South Africa?
That is why we are saying that we are making sure that the government or the state of South Africa complied fully the Vienna Convention. It's very clear about it. And they are also members of AU as well as UN. And so when government sits together and discuss all this matter, my brother was talking of businesses in Ghana here. They have a lot of businesses in Ghana. They have a lot of businesses we are dealing with. But we are civil. This country, because we are civil, we respect international laws and all this kind of thing. We won't go that path. We will never do that. You see, but sometimes when you are seeing this one on footages, you have a level of which you can control certain people. Others can misbehave. But thankfully enough, we are civil people in this country. We will not behave like how they are behaving. We supported them to get their independence. We gave them our resources. We gave them training in this country. And today, even some years, I remember, sometime back, we even sent arms and then, how did they call it? Not sports. Passports. In fact,
they use our passports.
Yes, a lot of them to move around. And do transactions. In the 70s and 80s, we did a lot of subtle activities just to support them to get to where they are. And so they should sit down and orientate their young people who are misbehaving. They hadn't seen anything.
All right.
Because if they had come to face the apartheid, the time Ghana was supporting them, I'm sure they wouldn't have misbehaved the way they are misbehaving. So I can assure you that we will bring down our people. We'll bring them, all of them, home, so that they will come in and then we'll build our country
Dr. Ramsey, so the issue, the other aspect of the conversation is these young men that we spoke to said they left because of lack of jobs.
That's right.
So they weren't seeking greener pastures.
That's right, of course.
And so that clearly also speaks to the fact that we have a major problem here.
Absolutely.
We're not creating enough jobs.
Absolutely.
And so over time, we have a youth bulge and they need a way to survive, so they'll leave.
Definitely, Bella, I concur to that without any doubt and any favor to any of the two major political parties. I mean, since 1992 till date, I think we have failed as a country. Since 1992 to date. And the easiest paradigm, I'll put it, is the Accra to Kumasi road. Since 1992 to date, we have failed to dualize our road. Right? And so, if I'm saying that we have failed as a state in ensuring that we create the right environment for our youthful people to leapfrog their dreams and aspirations, I'm not playing politics here. But my brother Bracco Powers highlighted something very critical, and he made a very intelligent proposal this morning, which I think that we need to draw the attention of the legislature. Indeed, if I was in Parliament, I would have sponsored a certificate of urgency to bring about a bill to tax South African companies into a certain fund so that we can use to support our Ghanaians coming back to integrate into the society. Simplicity.
Simple. We should tax the companies
Yes,
here.
tax them. We should create a
so
fiscal
the
policy.
MTNs and all that.
What do you call it? Ashanti Goldfields, MTN, Stanbic, ABSA, multi-choice. We should give them a special tax if diplomacy fails. Yes. That is conditional.
Of course.
If they fail to protect the property and the lives of Ghanaian citizens, then of course we have to go that route. And that is the responsibility of the NDC government. Because now they've gotten an overwhelming endorsement by the Ghanaian people, and they have majority in parliament, so they cannot fail the people of Ghana. And so this proposal made this morning by my brother Brakofo, I also concur to that. And indeed, it is in the collective spirit of the well-being of each and every Ghanaian citizen that I concur to such brilliant proposal. And indeed, going forward, we need to create avenues to support our entrepreneurs. We have advocated for an enterprise economy. Bella, there is a Ghanaian version of Steve Jobs. There is a Ghanaian version of Thomas Edison, right? There is a Ghanaian version of Mark Zuckerberg. We've just not created the platform to tap into the real potential of them. Bella, we have great minds in this country. We have great potential. The resource wealth of Ghana is $12 trillion. Bella, $12 trillion is no joke.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Bella will stop working.
Bella will stop working. Bella, $12 trillion, yet still the paradox of plenty has reached us, and it is a very big disgrace on our face as a people. And so leadership ought to enhance this potential that we are talking about. China has made it. And I'm saying that we should not try and go into conclave and try and bring about certain innovation, whatever. Let's just copy, but copy wisely. Let us take inspiration from China. Bella, I know what I'm talking about. The Chinese have been able to alleviate over 900 million people out of poverty. And I always tell people that one of the reasons why I feel emboldened, and I mean, I am very much motivated to do politics, is also China. Because I studied in China.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a communist-trained person, but not. I don't have any communist practice. Yes. No communist practice. Yes, I trained in a communist country.
So I support Galamsey because I'm told most of those doing Galamsey are.
Dog doesn't support
No, I don't support that.
Dog doesn't support
I've indeed blocked a lot of Chinese from even coming to Ghana to do Galamsey.
Okay.
You know, Bella. So I think that let us go down to the drawing board. Let us have that collective vision and unity as a country. The manifestos within a 4-year period, 8-year period, is not what we need. We need a long-term developmental plan.
Okay.
Right? And I think that the National Development Planning Commission has intimated the same thing, that we members of the United Party are advocating for that. We should have a long-term developmental plan that each and every party will tap in from to channel their policies to enhance our nation's development. That is what we are calling for.
All right.
And indeed, Bella, lastly, we're talking about employment, we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about development, we're talking about an enterprise economy. But indeed, we cannot extrapolate the financial sector from this conversation.
All right.
The central bank, we've said time without number that the central bank needs absolute reforms. The lending rate on loans in this country is too much. It's too high.
Stifling creativity.
It's too high. And that is why businesses, especially the private sector, is not able to what? Employ people and expand.
Yeah.
And do you know the liquidity flow into the private sector, the whole nation's liquidity flow is less than 12%. So it means that about 88% goes to government and 12% goes to the private sector. And how do we enhance an enterprise economy when this happens? So I am calling for sudden reforms in the central bank, that we need a single-digit interest rate on our loans, so that we can be able to support our young teaming entrepreneurs to also propagate the overwhelming agenda of an enterprise economy.
Senor, so Mr. Rashid Tanko Computer has responded to your concerns that you don't think they acted right in how they managed the evacuation. He says that that was just to give some assurance, basically.
Well, I think that his position on the issues even confirmed what I said, that the minister got it wrong. And one of them was the fact that he said that they need proper screening. That tells you that indeed there was no due diligence that was done in any serious crisis situation there should be due diligence that should be done. So it's confirmed that indeed the minister got it wrong. Again, he also made a fact that there is the need for tactfulness. He talked about tactfulness. And these were issues that I pontificated out over here. So he only, emboldened the statement by accepting that indeed his minister, Honorable Okunablaka, got it wrong by actually running social media kind of ministry in terms of pre-ejaculation.
That's not how he...
No. Hold on. So for me, I think that it was a premature ejaculation. And then there was one thing that baffled me, and I think you pushed to know, when he said that the 300 people seems to be an assurance. And when you pushed further, I think that he pulled back a bit. I was a bit baffled when he said that the first announcement has to do with an assurance. I'm like, hey, how could... No, it wasn't an assurance. However he sees it, I don't see it as an assurance. I still remains by my position that let's agree that we failed with the first announcement that came out. We could have done better. But going forward, I think that one of the things that we need to do as a country, because this has been a recurring situation, is to see to it that Ghana, at this moment, I think we need a permanent diaspora protection framework. UK is having that. Kenya is having it. US is having it. Where at least we know the number of people who travel. We are tracking them. When there are situations of this challenge, they are able to quickly report. Had it not be the issue of social media, we would not know what is going on.
But if people go into the countries illegally, how do they go and also...
So in that instance, where we have a framework policy, there will definitely be leadership within the Ghanaian communities or people who know. So when these things are going on, you are able to trigger an alert to prompt leadership that something of this nature is going on. Then the last, but not the least I want to talk about is the issue of the fact that my boss or my brother, which is counsel, talked about that, and I think that he also embodied that statement. The issue of job security is a major challenge. Let us not run away from the fact that there's job security in this country. Already we are in comatose in the area of 24-hour economy, and here we are asking the people to come back. When they come back, what is the guarantee for their job security? It is one key thing that we need to... You see, let us not be interested in just bringing the people and say that we'll give them a package. What are the components of this package? As it stands today, we don't know the component. The people will not come and arrive, or they will not arrive and now they will now be telling them cock and book stories. No. And most often, that is what we do. See, there will be firefighting approach. The people arrive, and then it's a different ball game altogether. So as it stands today, I believe that it would have been prudent if government has come out to tell us that these are the packages we have for ABCD, it will really augur well with the people. So for me, I believe strongly that we need to know the job security of these people. Okay. And the last thing he said, which has to do with those who are still staying back, what are the mitigation measures that we are putting in place for those people? Because we cannot tell the next alerts that will come. So I believe strongly that if we are able to do all of these things, it will really help. And to conclude, I think he talked about the fact that we should tax. If he were to be a member of parliament, he would have, pushed for a certificate of agency for us to tax South African companies. I support that with 1,000 bags of cement.
And MTN will increase their charges.
They can't do that.
They find a way to take the money from us.
They can't do that. They can't do that.
They can't push an agenda.
They can't do that. But you see, you don't necessarily need to be a member of parliament to trigger the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe strongly that we can collectively trigger a process to serve as a deterrent to the South African companies.
On this table, that's you.
I am willing.
Okay.
So for me,
Mr. Tako, will you join this?
Because of his government.
You see, no, I don't think that this is an issue.
No, I'm saying that he will not do it because of his government.
Well, maybe.
But he should join.
Of course, he should join. You see, this is not an issue This is not an issue of the government feeling that they will be lashed. No. It is an issue of protecting your citizens. And you must stand up for your citizens. And this is the time. I will want to use your platform to call for all Tom, Dick, and Harry that let's come together. Let's petition. I believe in petition a lot. Just yesterday, I petitioned Shraj to investigate the president. I believe
you're the one who did
Yes.
that? Oh, okay.
I believe in that
I didn't know it was
modus operandi a lot. To call for accountability and transparency. So I am of
a firm belief that we need to put this measure in place to put South African companies on the spot.
Let council come in. Because my concern again is that 0.75% charge will now go up.
They
might find clandestine ways to take it from us.
Well, we must understand that no business can charge any, can place a tax on any amount without the sanction of government.
Exactly.
No business. Whether you're a foreign business or a local business, you cannot do that with that. So if South Africa, if MTN is doing that, it's because government has given them the opportunity to do that.
Council has just confirmed what I said, though. So government is aware of the fact.
No, they cannot. Because you are doing business here, you cannot take unilateral decision with that.
That's true.
But beyond that, Bella, I agree with my colleagues that as a default position, Parliament must be up and running. Let's put in place. In fact, if this country was America, but now they would have passed that law.
Yes, sanction, even tariffs. Trump uses tariffs.
We should be tough on South Africa because what they are doing, in fact, this is not a one-off incident, Bella, and we must understand, this didn't just happen today. Previously, they used to exact that punishment on Nigerians, and we sat aloof. We didn't say anything.
And Nigeria is even thinking of bringing about such punitive measures.
My appeal to the Nigerian government is that they should also be tough. Because you see, Nigeria is the largest economy.
That's right. They have a lot of investment in South Africa.
And South Africa has a lot of investment in Nigeria.
That's true.
Let's begin to tax their businesses, MTN and co. Let's begin to tax them.
Yes.
Take money from them. If they cannot diplomatically compensate our Ghanaians who have lost their business, let's take it from their money.
Simple.
And if they want to go, they should go.
Council, what do you even think if we form an alliance, Ghana, Nigeria, then we put these punitive measures on the South African?
It will help.
It will really help. It will really help.
Because this thing is become one too many, Bella. And we need to stamp out this. And let me be frank with you.
So
whether xenophobia, Afrophobia, the thing is that Africans, for them we are foreigners.
Yeah.
That's why we are using xenophobia. For them, we are foreigners. They don't even imagine that with this skin, they could accommodate us. They feel that we should go to our individual countries. So we should also be measured, but let's be tough on them.
Okay. Doc, so I know you are online. I just want to say, take your final remarks on this, but are you also going to join them in ensuring that these South African companies in Ghana are actually taxed so that we can get to support these businesses of the Ghanaians who are coming back home? Doc, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, just briefly on this, yes.
Yes, please. I don't know whether that is the route that the government wants to go. So if they want to choose that, why not?
I'm just asking that if that should eventually become the route, are you in support of it?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there are reasons, and I mean, it goes beyond.
Can you state one reason why you are in support of it and one why you are not? Just briefly.
So I don't know. These are private individuals doing their business, having their investments here. So if their government in South Africa is not doing what is necessary to protect migrants, I don't see the reason why they should be punished.
But this could force the hands of the South African government to eventually act. Don't you think?
Are you sure it will do anything?
I'm asking you.
The only thing they want to do is just to fall. I mean, there's a lot of South Africans who were left. Not because of that. They can leave. That's it. So at the end of the day, who suffers? We have people employed by these organizations, right? We're also still going to complicate the unemployment issue down here.
All right.
Is that the way we want to go?
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. But let me just quickly take final remarks from Mr. Tanko.
You know, you have to be, this is an issue about state to state, and I'm sure Council is aware of that. And then these are private businesses, and you know international trade. You don't just sue motor because something is happening in this country and start putting in huge taxes on them. You go for arbitration, and that one, Ghana is likely to face a lot of challenges over there. So we don't want to go that route. I mean, there are a lot of things government is doing to make sure that our citizens are not don't suffer too much with the issues going on over there. But I don't think because they are private entities, we can just get up and start. Already government is taxing them. And then a lot of things, and they are complying. So long as they are complying, if you say because what is going on, I don't think it will go well.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see in the ballot. So we have to be careful, navigate through this one, and make sure that things go on very well.
We couldn't get time to go into our second topic, but maybe another time we'll get to speak
no, but
to
I invite you people.
I think that you guys
so you can
a special greetings to the people of the Volta region. My people are watching me, so if I don't say that, they will not be happy. So, Faith Dravi and then the members of the New Patriotic Party.
No, we are doing a lot of big push over there.
Well, the big issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. And so whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through a dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, University Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if the next step is an MSc in international relations communication, international marketing, international law, security diplomacy, accounting, finance or human resource management, an LLM in international law, security diplomacy, or an MA in biblical studies, practical theology, then the pathway is open. Apply today, because at the University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible, with flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life, choose a route that fits your background, and pay in convenient installments. Your dream deserves structure, your future deserves strategy, and your purpose deserves training. Apply now, www.ugc.edu.gh, or call or WhatsApp them on 026-388-85555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nation. In the studio, I've had Dr. Ramsey Nusa, Director of Political Research, United Party. Emmanuel Senyo Amekplenu is a member of the NPP Comms team. Tanko Rashid Computer is the CEO, GIFEC, member of NDC, and Austin Bracco Powers, private legal practitioner. Thank you, Dr. Uswa Eshianote, as well, for speaking to us. We'll be back with more. Don't go anywhere.
is 28.
Yes.
We need 26.
Okay.
And of the 28, 5 are goalkeepers. So if we do calculation, you would say that 2 goalkeepers will be dropped and it will be left with 26.
Right. Because we actually don't need 5 goalkeepers.
No, we don't.
For the World Cup.
No, we don't. We don't. I mean, the maximum you can take is 4, but on a usual common sense basis, we take 3 goalkeepers.
3, yes.
So you would expect that this will probably be the full squad list for the World Cup minus 2 goalkeepers. So he will use these days to figure out which 2 goalkeepers to drop.
My man Kudus.
Yes.
Kudus.
Injury, unfortunately.
Like really, you really are not coming for this World Cup.
It's unfortunate.
Mohamed Kudus, really?
It's unfortunate. I think one name that shocked a lot of people being added is Abdul Babar Rahman. He hasn't been in the Black Stars for the past 3 years or so. He didn't participate in the 2023 AFCON.
But he's been called.
He's
trending.
Yes, he's trending.
And the people are asking why.
Why?
So tell me why as a sports journal.
As to why, I cannot tell because
you don't work with the GFA.
I mean, on a common sense basis, it's baffling because 2023 AFCON he wasn't there.
Right.
He wasn't there for the 2025 AFCON qualifiers.
Okay.
He wasn't there for the World Cup qualifiers as well. He was not there. And then even the friendlies that have been happening in the past year, he's not been there. So it's quite shocking. And also noting that Derek Cohn was made to switch from Germany to Ghana. He also plays as left back. He's played in some friendlies. He's been around. So it's a bit baffling. I really want to listen to Carlos Queiroz and what he sees on the Abdul Babar Rahman inclusion because that part is probably
mind-baffling, right?
It is
and
baffling.
People are asking questions.
Yes.
Well, so let's go through the list quickly. So for goalkeepers, we've got Lawrence Atizigi, Benjamin Asare, Joseph Annan, and then Solomon Agbasi, Paul Reverson. Paul Reverson, I'm not really familiar with him.
He's a young goalkeeper who plays for the Ajax UT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Defenders, Abdul Rahman, Baba, Gideon Mensah, Alidu Seidu, Marvin Senaya, Abdul Mumin, Jerome Opoku. Yeah, Jerome Opoku was a new entrant some months ago.
Oh, he's been around.
Him.
He's actually been around. He's been around. He's been around.
Kojo Pepro.
It's Derek Lucasen who was a new entrant some months ago.
Okay. Alexander Jiku and then Derek Lucasen. Okay, so there are defenders. Midfielders Thomas Partey, Elisha Owusu, Kwesi Sibo, Augustin Boache, Ibrahim Sulemana, Caleb Urenchi, and then Christopher Bonsu Bang. And then the forwards, Ernest Niama, Kamaldeen Suleimana. Kamaldeen is going to be missing Kudus a lot. He's going to be missing him on that pitch, I can assure you. Fatao Isaku, and then Antoine Semenyo, Inaki Williams, Brandon Thomas, Asante, and then Jordan Ayew. So if people didn't bring back Andre Ayew?
No.
There were calls for him to be back.
Yeah, there was calls.
And what happened?
But no, he wasn't brought back.
It's a no?
Looking at his numbers is not really encouraging. That's 1.
Yeah.
His club was also relegated. That's 2. He's not been in the Black Stars for the past 2 years. That's 3. If you look at these things, it's difficult for anybody to really make a case. Once the coach really likes him and wants him, I don't think it would have been easy for him to get the call-up.
Well, extensively, you'll be discussing this when it's time for sports at 10:15. So please make sure that you stay tuned to TV3 so you can also take a listen to the analysis and everything else that concerns the 28-man squad that has been released ahead of our friendly. When is the friendly again? 2nd June?
2nd June.
2nd June. And then the World Cup, which is starting in a few days as well. Well, let's move on to other things. And our brand ambassador, or our biggest ambassador,